Oh, sorry, there was no audio. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Hot Takes. I am Young Shiro, and this is...
Guys, this is Skeleton Lipstick.
We are here to entertain with a special guest tonight. Please, of course, as always, let us know if our audio is hard to hear, or if it's too loud, if the music is too quiet, too loud, if anything looks funky. Please let us know so we can keep that quality control up. Be sure to hit us with all your hot takes, strong opinions. We love to hear questions. Keep it going, keep it active. Hopefully we will be able to address each and everything that y'all say tonight. But I want to start our hot takes episode featuring Vaporspace St. Louis with a music recommendation courtesy of the good doctor Skeleton Lipstick. What you got for us?
So today I kind of wanted to shine a little spotlight on an artist that I know that you're a big fan of as well. And he has a new single, and by single it wasn't just one song, it's about 3 songs on it that came out a few months ago. I think at the end of February or beginning of March, and that'd be a Secret Attraction.
Oh,
Attraction,
yeah!
Right? Secret
I love
Attraction's
Derek, dude.
True Love single that came out. Now that is fantastic, and it's a really interesting step for him. The sound production is the same thing that I've always come to expect from him, with this sort of hazy guitars and vocals that are sunk romantically into the sonic textures of the music. But the drums, they are a little bit different this time around. There's a little bit of a different type of crispness to them, so the songs hit a little different. And it's still exactly everything I like about him, but you know, it's just another dimension to his sound, and I really like it, and I'm interested to see what else is going to go in that direction. So for sure, let's just Secret Attraction and his entire catalog in general, I think people should check out. And the new True Love single with the 3 songs on that are fantastic, and a very interesting addition to the variety of sounds that he already creates, and totally recommend it. And in general, the other thing I'm going to recommend right now is just 2 words. And those 2 words are Sage Hardware. Okay. Sage Hardware is my favorite person making music right now in this entire scene. He's making the exact kind of music that I have been looking for a long time, which is the fusion of a lot of experimental electronic sounds with some of the sort of scrams type vocals and energy that you would hear from a band like Orchid or Page 99 or Reversal of Man or a Usurp Synapse or any of the bands of that ilk or that variety. You know, he brings that energy into this kind of music, that kind of vocal texture, that kind of aggression, and that kind of intelligence, and combines it with a lot of interesting, unique, experimental sounds that you might find in electronic scenes and the vaporwave scene as well. And Sage Hardware, that is exactly the kind of music that I'm looking for, and I'm very happy he makes it. And it's very unique, and I don't know anybody else that sounds anything like him.
Dude, one thing that I absolutely love about this new wave, as it were, of these new kids coming into the vaporwave scene is all the fresh perspectives and backgrounds that a lot of them come from, like Sage Hardware and like Winter Quilt. You know, coming from those crazy or iClick coming from noise music. You know, love the infusion of all these different styles. Yeah. And speaking about Derek, by the way, Secret Attraction, I was actually in his DMs just the other day trying to get him money for, I think it's Blush. Honestly, man, I know Bandcamp takes a small cut.
That's on Stratford Court,
Stratford Court, and
it's on vinyl.
It is. And his music, man, dude, it really is a cut above. Stratford Court is wonderful.
Love him.
They've curated a very specific, chill synth kind of, listens to calm trues, listens to home resonance kind of vibe. But his shit is I love the dream pop influence.
Yes.
The shoegaze kind of vibe he has going on. He's a really, really nice person too, so it's of course a clincher for me.
Oh yeah. He's been at it forever. He
really has.
First wave of shit. He's been around forever. You know what I mean?
He was on Mr. Nonsense at some point, I think, actually.
For sure he was. I think Crush was that the name of the song. Oh my god, that song was so good. I remember the first time I heard it. Woo! Right. I was like, someone is nailing the vibe right now.
Dude,
and that person is
he is extremely skilled, and he's not super far away from me. At least he's in Phoenix.
Oh, he isn't.
Yeah, he's in Phoenix, which is about a 5-hour drive from Vegas. And I heard a little bird told me pre-pandemic there was going to be an event that was going to be put on by A. Greg and Chief of Leaf called Heatwave. It never ended up coming to fruition. hope I'm not saying anything I'm not supposed to say, but the teasers got dropped and it never happened. I'm told Derek was going to be in attendance, or was at least interested in showing out just as an attendee. So I'd like to meet him someday.
Shout out to Stratford Court as well.
Absolutely.
As a great record label.
Absolutely.
By Andrew Walker, and fantastic. One of the original vapor-focused record labels to ever exist, and still around today as well, and still putting out amazing stuff. Still
they are the picture.
And they put out big releases too, like Hotel Pools and things like that.
Hotel Pools is blowing up. They are the picture, in my opinion, of a label that has curated a sound.
And like the thing about Stratford Court was like the thing about that label in general is like they never even tried that hard. Like I don't even think they're on Twitter.
Yeah, they don't have to do a lot of promotion, man.
They're just like Andrew and them are just like a really chill group of people, and they're like, yeah, man, people find us when they want to find us,
right?
If they want to find us, etc. And then fortunately, people have. And Hotel Pools. Oh my God, the thing about that, when you listen to Hotel Pools, like that is to me like a band, or I'm sorry, production act that has moved into like straight up professionalism to the max, with the way that their sounds work, the way everything fits together, the way that they have their stuff mixed, produced, etc. It is just so fucking clean and I don't mean clean as in overproduced. I mean clean as in this is a band, this is a producer who understands his sound, how to make it, what he's doing. And when I listen to Hotel Pools, I'm like, I trust this producer to take me wherever he wants me to go, because he knows what he's doing. You can feel the confidence in their work. Like that's something that only comes from time, I guess.
Absolutely.
And
good sounds, man. I feel like Keith's Collective walked so Stratford Court could run a little bit.
Keith's Collective walks. Yes, I totally believe that too. Yeah, for sure.
I miss the Keith's Collective output. A lot of those guys kind of migrated over or got involved in the early Stratford Court releases. That and Midwest Collective, I noticed.
What happened to a lot of... Well, Midwest Collective's still around. I have to see them and talk to them occasionally. What actually happened to like the people in charge of like Keith's Collective, like Dinosaurus Rex? Like, what's he doing now?
So crazy story. I was actually talking to Lux about that the other day. And welcome everybody, by the way. Thank you, Tech Honors, for rating us.
Thank you guys for being here. And then once we get through this, tell me your story. Tell me your story, because I want to bring on our
Collective just put out a new album, bro. They've been on hiatus since like 2017. There's a new album on Keith's Collective.
I had no fucking clue. I did not know that.
Wow. I don't know what it is. I didn't check it out, but I was like, please, does this mean
I'm definitely gonna check that.
Back? Yeah.
Well, let's see what they got, man. Let's see what they got.
Yeah. Oh, Lux just posted the link. Thank you.
Oh, well, I gotta see what this album is, because I want to know what it's going to be like now that they've come back after so long. Like, where their heads at? Where are their heads at musically? What are they putting out now?
Oh, well, no way.
Find out. I'll listen to it tomorrow.
Dude, Nathan just said that he named his song Acid Sprite Kiss after the movie Good Time, because there's acid in the Sprite bottle. Unbelievable, dude. That's
a great title. All right, should we bring on our guests?
Or why don't I say something stupid first? All right, guys.
Do your hot take, and then we'll bring them in like a couple minutes.
Let's do that, because y'all don't want to hear this. Story time, all right? So I bought this album, and it's by this guy named Robert something, all right? It's like an electronic album. It's like deep house, down-tempo IDM. Okay. He's got like a Polish last name. I don't want to botch his name all to hell. So I buy this album, right? It's pretty good, right? It's not bad. It's kind of dark, kind of ambient, whatever, you know? And come on, Lux. All right, so what happens is the main body of the album is great, right? Kind of short, but great. But then at the end of the album is a just cavalcade of remixes, just excessively long remixes. It's longer than the album itself. So my hot take of today, and this is not something that is particularly egregious in the vaporwave scene. Most remixes in the vaporwave scene are dank. But in the like IDM and downtempo scene, y'all gotta stop with these 10-minute long remixes that don't hardly do anything, and that like are longer than the album itself. That's my hot take. Stop doing that shit.
Stop making overly long remixes is what you're saying. Well, I guess they make them that long so DJs can either mix out of them, or maybe they can set cues to certain parts in them. and they can put a bunch of cues in there maybe, and so they can like juggle between the different parts of the long song. But I can't imagine that anyone's like, this is the whole time for me. Like right. That must be like a DJ tool, right?
You're probably right, but it still gets on my nerves.
It still gets on your nerves.
Lux is like fire, like just burning me alive in
saying
the chat.
That like, you just don't like Groove Is in the Heart. Is she accurate in that take? You don't like Groove Is in the Heart?
Man, you really stole the spotlight.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Do you like that song or not?
No, I don't. I don't like that song.
Whoa, what?
I'm gonna need some help understanding why I should like Groove Is in the Heart.
Man. That's the hottest take I've ever heard on this show. Groove Is in the Heart is so fun.
Listen,
my goodness gracious. Woo. Boy.
Listen,
I hope the British tabloids don't get a hold of that.
I put that on Facebook and I got crucified. So best believe, I know that I'm the Philistine here. I know that I'm in the minority.
No, I know. I do this all the time.
I still don't like
it. Okay, well, you're allowed to not like it. That's fine. Okay.
Pacific Plaza Alex goes, I guess Groove is not in your heart. I was like, man, I guess not, because I hate it.
All right, should we bring on our buddies?
Yes, because enough of my bad opinions. Guys, we have not just one Vaporspace, we have two Vaporspaces. We are being joined by, let me take this static down. We are being joined by Ronny. Guys, I can't find the static. Hang on. There we go. Oh, we're being joined by Ronny and Sound Market. What's up, guys? Unmute yourselves, please.
Woo! We're unmuted.
Yeah.
Hey
First time we've had a double guest.
Yeah, man. It's exciting.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys that.
We are so amped that you guys are here because we get double the energy. And if you guys have any comments on my bad opinions or Chris's recommendations, Chris's great recommendations, now's the time.
Well, I mean, we could go on all night about your trash take on Groove Is in the Heart, but I mean,
you guys heard that one too, huh?
What more could be said? What more could be said about that hasn't already been said? I mean,
fair enough. I appreciate your long-suffering love for me.
I imagine.
Maybe we'll get a little.
Do you guys have a song that a lot of other people love? Like I have a song that a lot of other people love, and a lot of other people love, and I absolutely hate. But do you guys have a song? I'll do mine later. But do you guys have a song that people really love, but you just like this is not your thing? You can't stand it.
I think this is a controversial take, but I think Bohemian Rhapsody is like kind of stupid.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to like 7 hours of opera.
I'm honestly not crazy about it either.
I'm not that crazy about it either. It's a bit I understand the technical prowess of writing it. Yeah. And I appreciate all the different changes in it, but like, yeah, I don't really ever am like, I can't wait to listen to Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like,
I can't wait to get home and sit down and listen to
Bohemian Rhapsody. It's not the scene in Wayne's World. I'm like not terribly interested.
Fair enough. That scene is
fire. What about you, Ron? You got anything or yay, nay? Anything that particularly isn't your thing. You don't have to say hate. You can just say it's not your thing.
What do you hate the most, Ron?
You're very kind person, Ron. So I don't want to make you do that.
Right.
No, it's all right.
Your children are watching.
To be perfectly honest, there's a lot of pop canon that does not appeal to me at all.
Yeah, I feel you with that too, man.
I mean, there's a huge volume of it that I was just like, oh, this, you guys really? But I mean, if we're talking about like underground burners that got a lot of attention, I mean, again, it was still some of the most popular songs that broke out, like Zombie Nation. Like, come on, that song's ass. Like, but I mean, every jock jam wants to have Zombie Nation on it.
Dude, I don't like jock jams either.
Jock jams are just really funny. Just like, you ever actually like sit down and listen to a Jock Jams album? It's like it's just a really humorous experience because like you do get into like the Jock Jams theme song parts where it's like you think first it's just techno songs. First it's just like Hadaway and stuff, but then all of a sudden there's like Jock Jams, pump it up, Jock Jams, pump it down, like it's like a fucking like you can just see people like working out on a step to it. You know what I mean? Like from the early '90s, like it's such a strange time capsule.
But it's not every song on there isn't worth listening to. Like, there's still a couple of gems that'll sneak their way into the
I
jock jam.
still fucking listen to Hadaway, man. Let's not even say anything wrong, okay?
hot.
Like, let's not even play games. Like, I'm just gonna listen to.
Let me just pull up my DVR
I'm gonna listen to Real
playlist
McCoy
for
as well.
background.
Honestly, tell you what, I'm going to listen to like "Runaway" by like Real McCoy. That is a ridiculous song, and I enjoy it.
Crazy
if you
Frog,
want me to-
anybody?
Wow, so that's like a whole
oh my
other thing,
gosh.
man. That's like, in my opinion, like the precursor to a little bit of the hyperpop aesthetic, right?
Dude,
Fair
I was
enough.
gonna ask, do you guys like hyperpop?
Yeah, I do.
I
think
like
it's
what
pretty
I've heard.
fun.
What about you?
I do. I think that there's what's the big song right now? Sugar Crash, like with
that
Kim
song,
Petras.
I kind of love it, man.
I know it's a good song, especially
Yeah.
the Kim Petras version. No, I have nothing. I think hyperpop's fun, but hyperpop is basically like a fusion of like PC music and like the Crazy Frog song, right? And like, like that's kind of what it is, right? And like,
That's
and like a
true.
little bit of like trappy vocals, but like, yeah, it's like Crazy Frog or like the Gummy Bear song. You know, I'm a gummy, I'm a gummy.
Do you think hyperpop is gonna last?
Is that
or do you think
like
it's gonna
mixed
be
with,
like
like
a
girlfriend of the
short-lived-
year or like cutie? You know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Cutie. Something.
Do you guys think that hyperpop
I've
has
never
got
played that.
longevity, or do you think it's gonna be like a 2 years and then it fizzles out type of genre?
I feel like it has longevity. It seems like it would. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a catchy piece of ear candy, you know? It's such a crazy
It
thing to
definitely
happen
hits
in the
just
scene
right.
right now. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's so. And
I mean, I
it's
wouldn't
really well
consider myself
produced.
like a mega fan, but I do like what I've heard and would
Can I-
enjoy
can
getting
we-
more.
Let me talk about hyperpop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Go, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not going to be around forever because the kids who are making it are very young, so they're going to grow up and they're going to do another thing instead, and it'll have a little bit of the flavor of hyperpop, but it'll be something else. It's going to fuse with something. They're going to get better at producing. Honestly, you guys maybe have heard some of the hyperpop that's good, but like a lot of hyperpop is actually pretty like underproduced and pretty simple. A lot of hyperpop songs are like less than 2 minutes long, and like they're like basically.
They're really
you know,
fast.
Just like, for example, take Sugar Crash, for example, the original version of it. I believe that song, like the Kim Petras version, where they like produced it up a little bit more, is like very like catchy, very like snappy, very professional with like a little bit of lo-fi in it. But the original version, I think it's like 1 minute and 20 seconds, and it's pretty damn lo-fi. So I just sense that, and that the people who are writing it right now are 17, 16, 18, 19, 20. And like I do think that a lot of them are going to get a little older and they're going to just build on the sound. And I think that it's going to change. And also, anytime something is just kind of one sound for too long, it's unsustainable and it usually changes into something else. So that's my opinion. But I do like it, and I do think it'll be around for a little bit, but it certainly isn't going to be the same way it sounds now in a few years.
I wish
kids are gonna
Igloo
grow up,
Ghost
we're
would
making
produce
it.
for some of these pop artists, man. I feel like Igloo Ghost had a huge influence on hyperpop as well.
Igloo Ghost is like kind of his own thing. You know what I mean? I've seen him
True.
live. He's fun.
Are you
He like
serious?
has like
Man,
a
I'm
whole
so
like
jealous.
audio visual. He's got like a whole like audio visual setup where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's
Very
producing a
immersive.
video game. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a really fun show.
Somebody asked if
What's,
we consider Dory and Electra to be hyperpop. What do you guys think?
What do you guys think? Yeah, kinda, right? I mean, that's just like. Go ahead.
On a good day, yeah. Like I just give it to him.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah. I don't know.
Dorian Electra's they are awesome. They are a fantastic producer, and they are kind of what you should be shooting for. Maybe a little bit with hyperpop, but actually straight up hyperpop is like the song Sugar Crash. It's like very like a simple melody with a beat and a little bit of like sort of like trappy-ish vocals that are up pitched, and it's kind of bit crushy sounding too a lot of the times. It's not very professional because it's kind of the first shot at making music for these people. Whereas Dorian Electra, I think is like straight up the future of what pop music will be. You know what I mean? And pop music will fuse components of hyperpop in it, right? It'll fuse components of hyperpop and then straightforward. Dorian Electra, they have actual like verse and then really professionally produced choruses, you know what I mean, that hit, and really good music videos. Like this is a lot of professional, like I think that, you know, Dorian Electra, that's a pop artist. That is a pop artist, and that's like very professional sounding stuff. You know what I mean? Like we should all be so lucky as to hope that pop music continues to head in that direction.
Right, or like Charlie XCX type stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Rico Nasty?
Yeah.
They seem like
Yeah.
a super cool person.
Yeah. Seems really
Yeah.
interesting.
iPhone is like the best song of all time, I think.
The iPhone
Not
is pretty
sure.
fun. That's a
Maybe
pretty
so.
fucking fun song, dude.
So on
I
the other
have
side of that
raid-
coin, do you guys fuck with Deconstructed Club?
Yeah,
Like
why not?
like Norris from Mexico.
Norris
Or
from Mexico.
yeah.
I
Or
don't know what that means. What's
So
deconstructed?
like, the joke
Can
is
you
that
help me out with
PC
that?
music birthed all the fun, sugary stuff is hyperpop, and all the like scary, experimental, like Arca, Ash Kusha, One O Trick, some One O Tricks Point Never is like
so like
Deconstructed
that
Club.
makes sense.
So like imagine club
wow.
music, but like
Correct with my
experimental club music.
suggestions.
No, that sounds
stuff is
yeah.
great.
If I had to characterize Arca or something of that nature, like I know exactly what you're kind of talking about. That would be like a deconstructed club, a deconstructed high quality dance and pop music that's been deconstructed and like put on a plate and changed around. Like it's like you took up the piece of paper, you ripped it, you took up the glass and smashed it and started
Right.
putting
And
it together
no,
in different
not
ways.
most
Yeah,
One O Tricks Point
that's-
Never
I
does
didn't know
not
that
fit
that
into
was what that was
category, just
called,
some
but that's a
of
really good, interesting way to thing to call it. And I love that. That's like my
Me too,
favorite
man.
kind of music.
Because
Actually,
it draws from like
That's like
bass
my
music,
favorite.
grime music, club music, and I was like, what do they call this shit? You know, it's just like kind of scary, kind of bombastic, like hyper digital music. What's it called?
Yeah, the digital music, but it feels like
Club.
with the. So what it sounds like to me, it's like a digital chord. It's like a like a chord played by a very powerful digital synthesizer, and then the sound wave itself is like is like bent like a goddamn stalk. You know what I mean? Like and then like springs back. Yeah,
There's some
I
weird
love
shit
that
out
kind
there,
of
man.
music.
And
It's like
a lot
that's
of
like
it's
my
really good.
favorite music is that stuff like Arca, which is like kind of like One O Trixie, a little bit influenced too, right? From like maybe like an R plus album sort of perspective. But anyway, what else do we want to talk about?
Well, Quiz
you
really
guys-
wants you to go to Yakitori.
Yakitori Boy. That's a what's it called? A karaoke bar
I got you.
in
Nice.
Philly. Yeah,
I want to go.
fun times.
You all
What do we
know
will-
a lot about music.
You know, look at your fucking
No,
mind
you're
back
the one that
there.
was a
You
DJ.
know a lot about music. Dude,
In the
Ron, who's been
90s.
like going to like raves since like the early 90s and has seen so many different scenes come and go. And they're talking about us knowing a lot of music.
I know a
Ron,
lot about parties.
Let's talk about how
Yeah.
you decided. Well, yeah, but that's a big deal. Why don't we talk about that? What
Yeah.
does a party mean to you? You guys, what's a party mean to you? Like, what does
gotta
it mean to do it? What does it mean? What's the point of it? Why do you like it so much?
Well, I mean,
What's it
I
create?
love getting together with people. I love
Yes.
having the opportunity for a bunch of people to get together for any reason, but
Yeah.
for a really good reason, like music is
Yeah.
one of my favorite reasons. So if we can all get
Well
together and have a reason to have a good time, a reason to make a lot of noise and indulge in, you know, the things that everybody wants to indulge in. We're all looking to get away and to forget and to dance and maybe have a drink. You know, just everything that everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to party. Let's all get together in a place where we can have a really good time and make you leave the party going, that was a great party. Like that is the whole
That was a swangin'
the whole
party.
idea.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, think about some of the best parties that you've been to and how you felt when they were over. You know, just like that mixture of joy and sadness. But like,
Yeah.
it's a perfectly poignant moment at the end of a
I
good
can
party.
literally feel it right now when you're talking about it. Like I could feel the way I felt after I went to, like, particularly when I was younger, after I went to like a party that was like just a great experience where I met a lot of people, where I had a great time, where I left late and kind of like walked around after maybe even, or, you know, looked outside the window on the car ride home at the scenery as it passed by. You know, I can feel all that right now when you say that. And it's a really fascinating experience, isn't it? Like, it's
Yeah.
it's funny what it speaks to within us, just this kind of being in a part of a sense of community, you know what I mean? And a sense of shared experience. And really nothing else is like a party, huh? Like as far as like a shared community experience, like, you know, not really a lot comes close to that, huh?
Whether you're watching the sun come up at the end of a really long night, or whether you're hitting a diner at 3 a.m. at a less long night, or whether you're tearing down a stage at 2 a.m., you know, on a night where we're finishing, we know when we threw a good party. And the feeling comes along with that too. It's like, man, we just had this slamming show with Yuni Wa, or we just had this fantastic show with Vaperror or Synchro Start or anybody who came through St. Louis. At the end of the night, we knew that not only was that a memorable experience for us, but it was going to be a memorable experience for the artists and for the crowd that came through, because time after time it was magic.
It's weird how
it's like a
salient.
foreign concept at this point.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, man. It's weird how salient these memories of those experiences are for us. Like, it really speaks to how important they are. And I really love, as well, obviously, you know, throw the parties too. And I really love that it gives people a real special experience, you know, a real sense of being a part of something with some other people, and just nothing is quite like it, you know. And I love that it builds community. Do you know what I mean? And it gives people a chance. There's a lot of people that I don't really see, but I know if I because time is time and there's only so much of it, right? But if there's a thing that everybody's going to where they're going to have a good time, and you can just show up there and you're going to run into all those people that you don't get enough time to see just regular or hanging out during the week. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. Like, it's like, you know, these parties can almost be like a version of church. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, man.
You know, not trying to sound dogmatic or anything, but when I think of church, for a lot of older communities, it's a place where they went because afterwards they're going to go and talk to some of their friends in the neighborhood that they don't see normally, or that they can't see because, you know, there's no other time during the week or during the month, right? And that's kind of what these parties are like. You know, you see all these people that, you know, I know at Teachill, I'm sure at Vaporspace, you guys have a lot of people who come to all the shows, right? You know, and they go and they get to hang out with you guys and all the other people who usually go to them, and then sometimes new people come, and now they'll come once in a while too now, and really nice to have a nice shared experience with people, and it can just be about music, and it can just be about art, and socializing. That's great.
We were really getting, you know, this core group of regulars that was bringing that level of magic, you know, that, you know, we were seeing them time in and time out, and they were making a point to connect with us and tell us about music that they liked, artists that they were into, their own opinions and hot takes and relationships to vaporwave. And all I ever wanted to do was talk to people about vaporwave. Like, that's why I started this. I was like, I don't have anybody in St. Louis who cares about vaporwave, and my friends are getting sick of me talking about it. So, you know, I was immediately, people wanted to talk to me about vaporwave. It was incredibly exciting. It was like, yay, you can come and listen to some records. We'll really get down on some music. It was a great way to meet people. And of course, if you meet 25 people who like vaporwave, at least one or two of them make it. So then you're getting to hear new vaporwave and get to, you know, check out music that people are working on. And then all of a sudden you find yourself immersed, surrounded by a crowd of people who are making art and somewhat thinking about you and your project when they're doing it. That's the most incredible thing in the world to me. Like, people are thinking about, they want to be on a Vaporspace show, or they want to be in a Vaporspace stream, or you know, they know that St. Louis has people making and caring about vaporwave, so they're gonna, you know, they weren't sure if they really cared about it, but maybe they'll make a second album or follow up that EP.
I really appreciate the idea of creating an audience for people. Like, that was half the whole point of, even when the scene began, was the idea of creating an audience for people, curating an audience of people who would care about this art and would care about experimentation, and you'd have an audience. Like, you know, one of the hardest things when you're in your local scene in music or DJing or production or whatever is the idea that you're just like, you know, you're limited to whatever's around you. You know what I mean? And maybe whatever's around you isn't exactly what you're into. And so you find yourself kind of just making this different kind of music with no other peers doing it. And then you go to the internet, and the internet's just vast and enormous and impossible to get your voice through. But maybe when you find a few people that have the same way of thinking about music that you do, and it builds out, and then you've created an audience for yourself because you and your friends are doing something kind of fun and exciting on the internet, and then they blew up into this. And it's the same thing now with the live shows. It's like, well, now you said that person who was just making that EP and they didn't know who else might like it, who else might be interested in it, but then they went to the Vaporspace shows and they're like, there's an audience for this, and now here they are making more cool art. You know, so many artists may never have made anything or continued with what they were doing without these kind of concepts and ideas.
Totally.
Know what I mean?
Guys, I don't want to change the subject too hard, but the audience was going crazy a moment ago about karaoke. Like, we were talking about shows, and all they were talking about was karaoke. Do you guys want to quickly let me know what all your karaoke go-tos are?
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. What do you guys want to... You guys want to go first?
I do Brandy by Looking Glass.
All right, solid.
I've never done karaoke.
You never done, but what would you do if you did do karaoke? Okay.
Yeah, what do you want to work up?
What would you do, man? This is the question. The hot takes crowd is demanding the answer. What would be, like, you could do anything. You could even be like a hip hop. You could do like Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio.
I do Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card.
That's a great, man. That's so fun. I would love to see you do that.
Yeah, I felt a little bad about changing the subject, but everyone was talking about it, so I was like...
All right, so is it my turn?
Yeah, what is your go-to?
What I'm the last time I did karaoke, I think that the song that I picked on the jukebox was Fall Back Down by Rancid.
Oh, I would love to see
Fall Back Down.
I love it.
You're gonna help me back up again.
I would have to probably go with like a Saturday Love or like an Alexander O'Neal song.
You're gonna be my friend. Well, it's like I try to pick a song that like I'll be able to sing also, you know what I mean? And I'll be able to sing Rancid.
Oh,
I think I can do that.
You can sing
I think I can sing Tim Yanovich's voice, the most off-key singer in the world on purpose. Like, I think I can handle that. That'll be all right.
Right.
All right, anyway.
Karaoke.
I feel like I picked Brandy because that guy has such like an affected, like schmaltzy, fake-ass voice that I just get to rip it out like this. Yeah. It just doesn't sound like me. It's fake.
Wait a second. Let me change my answer. My karaoke song would be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes, somebody said Bohemian Rhapsody.
You know what? I want to get
7.5
Groove is in the heart.
Groove is in the heart. That's Isaac's. That's right. I want to get like comfortable enough doing karaoke where I can do like a cool song and like be comfortable singing a cool, like, if I had my way, my karaoke go-to song would either be like Creep by TLC or No Diggity, by Blackstreet. Like I'd be if I could sing those songs and be cool doing it. Whew, that'd be the life.
Who's gonna duet?
I wouldn't have to reach for any more goals. No Diggity, got to bag it up. Anyway,
sorry guys,
to talking about stuff. All right, that's fine. All right, let's get back to talking about another thing. Isaac, you got a thing you want to talk about? Do it.
Well, I mean, I guess I could ask the fellas, what is your least favorite trend in music right now? Is there anything you want to rag on a little bit?
If you go to freesamples.com and you get a lead and then you just put a synthwave bass over it, that doesn't make a whole song, okay? That's because I hear so much stuff that's just the chord on a synthwave bass, and then maybe like one serum patch just playing the same chord over it, and I'm like, dude, this is not what it takes. At least sidechain that bass.
I don't like sidechain it. They don't sidechain it.
Just
that's sad.
At least sound good, Isaac.
That's a whole genre, though. That's a whole genre. Just go to r/outrun.
Oh, it's
r/synthwave. Just any of that stuff.
Wait a minute. Synthwave is using samples? Since when?
No, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying there are that's a whole SoundCloud genre that no one really talks about. It's people that are making like faux synthwave.
That's interesting.
So it's like a lazy sort of piece together from free samples.
Type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what? That's not true.
Dude,
all right.
I should make an Uncut Gems type beat.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying it right now.
So it's basically the issue, but the issue basically is with the fact that, people are mining sounds from a free sample website, and they're not even altering the sample at all, and then they're just like sticking it on top of another one and not like doing any production work beyond that.
Maybe not even another one, but just any kind of synthwave bass. And I noticed this just like so much, and it's right, like no other production work. I don't care if people sample, that's fine.
But does it slap though?
It does not slap.
Doesn't
It's
slap,
always
though.
slow.
I mean, I could give a fuck about how anybody did it if I'm like,
If it moves
just-
you.
If
I
it
could
moves
get
you, I guess.
down,
Hey.
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it bad? I don't care.
I'm sure some people like it, but it's just so like, and it's been going on for so long, like since 2015. This just kind of,
I really want you to send me an example so bad.
I would if I had one, but
Not right this
You block
minute.
them all out of your mind as soon as you
Later
hear
on.
them.
my computer's right there.
Yeah,
It's
just-
doing all this.
All good.
Now, Marky Man,
Later on.
some of your performances on the URL shows, the visual themes that you do, oh my god, they're so fucking fun. Where do you come up
I'm
with this
glad
stuff?
you like them.
Oh my god.
So
I'll never forget the shopping. You know, that was insane.
Yeah.
The home
So that
shopping
wasn't
thing.
me. That wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't
my
do
friend,
that?
No, my
thought
friend
you did
Wesley
that.
Nass did.
Oh, Wes
It was
did
his
that?
set. But Wesley
Yeah.
Nass
Did
just
that?
followed us.
Yeah.
That guy's around you guys too, right?
Yeah, dude. He's one of my best
I
friends
wonder
since
if
like
he's
middle
in
school.
chat.
His
He
talent-
just
that guy
followed
is
Hot Takes the
really
other day.
fucking
He might be.
talented. I can't even believe.
I gotta say,
He's not.
he's
Tell
so
his
thumbs
to
up
get
with-
in here.
he got a job with Rockstar. He got a job 3D modeling with Rockstar.
I'll never. He made
That's
me the Midnight Snacks thing.
Oh
He
yeah, that
made-
was so good.
God, he made me like a fake cereal box.
Yeah.
Oh, Midnight Munchies was
Skeleton
such a
Lipstick,
good show,
like-
dude.
I couldn't even
Dude.
believe it. I'm like, all that work. Like, who is this fucking creative genius? Like,
Did you
Jesus
see that
Christ.
he made me like lemon lime chips? Like
Yeah, that was amazing.
I love
Oh
it
my
because I
God.
just eat Takis all day. That's all I eat.
Dude, that's
You know,
a man of
you know
good
the-
taste
you know the
right
deal.
there.
That's amazing.
You know who else is a
Shit's
huge
epic,
Takis
dude.
fan? Equip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's probably in the chat
Yeah.
right now. He usually tunes in. You guys know who's in the chat right now? We got 100% Electronica. They're not saying anything, but they're in
100%
they're
Gex?
tuned in.
All right, so more questions though. Ron, you've been around going to shows for a long time, going to raves for a long time, and I have a question. When you started discovering vaporwave, were you immediately thinking to your past experiences in the rave scene and how you can bring some kind of that energy to this new genre of music that seems to be open to so much? Was that a big thing for you? Was that in your mind?
I appreciate that question. I would say it immediately, when I heard Vaporwave for the first time, what floored me about it was the amount of nostalgia for my own musical experience that seemed to be packed into this music that I was listening to. Like the amount of throwbacks to the pop songs that were playing when I was making out, getting sampled and slowed down and reverbed. The extent of the nostalgia was so powerful. And my teenage years from 1995 through, graduating college, all of that time for me was really caught up in my identity as a high school kid in St. Louis who goes to raves, which that's a big part of your identity, because if you're in the rave scene at 15, 16 years old, you understand that you're part of something that's kind of crazy and wild and weird and big. And at 15, it's hard to have a real fully formed idea of who you are. But raver is as good a thing to identify as anybody at that point. So it was nostalgia for my musical experience when I was a raver. And I was a raver for almost a decade, from 1995 to about 2005.
That's badass, dude.
But I was away from electronic music, far away. Wasn't listening until synthwave and vaporwave punched through the consciousness, and I was like, I want to know more about this music and listen to this music. And it was like, but I remember listening to house music in the early 2000s and being like, I don't understand how people leave this scene. My love for this music will never die. And within 5 or 6 years, my love for it was fucking dead. I just could not stand electronic music in the late
Wild.
2000s. 2010 I wasn't listening. 2013 I wasn't listening, and it wasn't until
no chillwave scene for Ronnie.
None of it. It wasn't until 2015 and 2016 that I started to be aware that synthwave and vaporwave was even happening, and I got into it in 2016.
Well, you missed Bloghouse, so that's okay.
I did. I missed a lot of stuff.
Well, I think the thing that's most important, though, is that the problem with a lot of people in general is when they're young and within the age range of, like, I don't know, your late teens to, like, maybe even your mid-20s, people all of a sudden, they start getting a real idea of what they think is cool, right? They get an idea of what's cool, what they think is cool. They think they're the first people in the world to ever discover cool music or what they consider to be cool music, and they dig their heels in, like, really hard. And then the whole fucking world passes them by after that. Like, that's the thing, is like, is like when people, like, you have to learn that cool means one thing in this era, cool means another thing in another era, and you just got to look for the energy that's correct. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's really admirable. That, Ron is in, and I was too, in different scenes and different types of music, listening to different things, and was able to not grow past it, but to grow into laterally another thing. You know what I mean? And
Same.
Ron, do you mostly listen to, and then I want to get to sound market in a moment as well, but one more question for Ron. Do you mostly listen to what you were listening to when you were a teen or your 20s, or are you mostly listening to the stuff that you listen to now?
I've been buying a lot of records lately and forcing myself to listen to them. So,
so you're buying what you force yourself to listen to. Yeah. It's like when I used to buy all the Criterion DVDs. I'd be like, well, I guess I'll watch this now. I guess I'll watch Straw Dogs finally. Like,
if I'm gonna pay for this wax, I'm gonna put it on this turntable and I'm gonna listen to it. And I play it really loud in the house and make it. Yeah. It turns out we have a Vaporspace PA system that it's 2,700 watts of way too loud for my house. A couple of 15-inch subs, and it's all set up down here with my turntables. Man. I just it's down in the basement. I turn it all the way up and I listen to my records here. And so I
gotta come visit you.
Yeah,
that's
I want to experience that for sure.
That sounds fantastic.
A lot of what I listen to are the big vaporwave releases that are coming out now. Like,
so you're listening to what's coming out now, to the new music.
I'm catching a lot of re-releases too. I'm always excited to get, a big
even a re-release
is
like from what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago at the most. Still pretty contemporary.
True.
That's absolutely true. And then I work out, I bike ride almost every day, and I listen to a playlist that I made like 2 years ago that has 45 songs on it that all have just an insane number of plays. That, like, it is terrible, like, and I should get
favorites.
a new. It is an all-time favorite, but like no one should be stuck listening to a playlist this small, this repeatedly. I mean, I've been cycling to this playlist for like 3 years. I mean, I like it. I go really fast. I would love some new music in there. I need a new workout playlist.
Well, it's doing what it do, and you'll make it work if you get something new if you need to. So you also, I have a question. Like, do you go back and listen to what you listened to when you were like 20 that much anymore?
I really get excited to tell people about like Future Sound of London and The Orb, which were some of my favorite bands that I feel like are direct, and I'll come across the occasional person that doesn't know Boards of Canada, and I'll be like, yes, yes, I just don't tell you about Boards of Canada. How wonderful. I was on a big Air kick the other day where I listened to a bunch of Air albums, and that made me feel pretty good. I mean, I still have all of this media, and I run my hands across it, and I have CDs, and I have tape. I don't listen to tapes very much. I just can't bring my old tapes sat in my car for 10 years getting hot and cold, and you know they all sound a lot more vaporwavy now than they did when I bought them.
Oh man, that's good.
25 years ago.
I don't listen to a lot of my physical media that much. I do, but in my opinion, I consider them all to be functional art pieces. So I feel like, well, if I don't listen to it all the time, it's not a big deal. It's a beautiful piece of art that's infused with the energy of a beautiful artist. So, you know, and like they put a lot of effort into creating this. This isn't some mass-produced piece of plastic. This is something curated by a small label that I talk to with an artist that I probably talk to as well. And it's and you know, and a graphic designer, same thing, you know, that I probably know or as well. And it's infused with their energy and their artistic vision. And so, you know,
and we
having it. Like, people don't have to always play the physical media. I do, you do, but I'm just telling other people in general, like, you can still buy these things and have a functional art piece. You don't have to listen to it, even.
True.
You know?
True.
Now I'm saying I listen to it. You know, I mean, we all do, but like, you don't have to if you don't want to. You know what I mean? You can just have the cool, beautiful piece of art. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm very happy to know that I'm supporting and encouraging this artist to make more. Like,
yes, absolutely.
And that
sure.
when I buy one of a 20,000 unit run of a One Hotrix Point Never album, that doesn't fill me with the same amount of excitement as when I buy one of 300 getting pressed, where it's almost like I feel like that person is going to be like, oh shit, Ronnie bought my album.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very exciting feeling for me. Like,
Me
when
too.
someone's going on to vinyl, I wanna be part of it.
And also, speaking of this same subject, thank you for purchasing the Glows Than Melts vinyl. That is a beautiful
buddy.
vinyl right there.
It's a very pretty record. I'm very glad. I'm very happy to have it.
Oh shit.
The colorway is looking very fresh on it. Let's see if I can splash it out. Did you get the glows or the melts?
I have both.
Well, yeah,
both
that
because
makes-
I'm the artist.
But I have the melts there.
The melts one is.
Hey, while you guys are sharing, this is a question for Sound Market as well, because I feel bad.
Purchase it now from Needle Juice Records. Oh, look at this.
Which
A fun
Aphex Twin
insert,
album is
too.
the best, Ronnie? Since you're clearly a Richard D. James fan as well.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ron, you better answer this.
I want to hear
I
Sound Market's
really-
answer too, because I feel bad.
No,
We're asking
cool.
Ronnie all these questions.
Selected Ambient Works 2.
Really?
The one, no, it might be, I might be thinking of one. I can't, the one with the less busy cover. Selected Ambient Works
I think
Volume.
that's one.
Yeah, then it's one.
One is the one that starts off with Crystal, and 2 is the one
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
my
a double.
Absolutely
Good
my
choice.
favorite.
Good choice.
Without a doubt.
Sound Market?
I really like what is the one that April 14th is on? Is that the
Drugs. That's Nathan's
Droops.
favorite too. In
Droops.
real.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Dude, I'm glad that it's in Rayleigh's favorite. That makes me happy.
Mine is I Care
Word.
Because You Do.
Aww.
It's a great album.
I think it's just
Lovely.
the most like wall-to-wall, most consistent in sound.
I'm glad.
Sorry, I had to
I
ask
think
because
so.
there's 2 Richard D. James behind you and you guys were looking at records.
Yeah, that's true. They watch over us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever dream this, man?
So, you guys talking about Aphex Twin? Yes.
Yes.
Yee.
I don't know anything about Aphex Twin.
Wow.
Really?
Bummer.
Wow, you're missing out, bro.
Hot take. I actually, I mean, I know Widow Liquor, which is awesome. I know the
This
DRU
man said
NQS.
Widow.
That's fair.
Is that it?
Totally
Is that one?
fair.
Drunks?
Yeah.
Is that an album, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Real legit.
This is not an aspersion. I'm not casting whatsoever. It's just that I never listened to it. So I'd actually might need to know where to even start with Aphex Twin.
I saw Aphex Twin and Luke Vibert play in London in a club that was in an old, what do they call it? The Tube? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or no, they call it the Underground. So it was in an old underground station that was decommissioned, and Luke Vibert
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
it was 2000. But see, okay, here's a hot take. I think that Richard D. James doesn't like his fans, and I think that he is consistently takes opportunities to take the piss, or, you know, it's for British terminology, but he fucks with his fans endlessly. He doesn't really feel like he owes them what they're expecting to see, and I feel that to some extent, he's always been pretty disrespectful to the people that support him. Now,
so
he's a
the
superstar,
Kanye of
so
electronic music.
why does he have to care? He's a superstar. He doesn't have to care. But as a person who comes out here and tries to live with a lot of respect, to some extent, I don't like it.
Once again, I just, you know, man, like, I never got into Aphex Twin that much because I don't know. I was listening to, like, Throbbing Gristle. As far as, like, bands, and I was listening to Throbbing Gristle, and I was a huge fan of Nurse with Wound and that sort of music, which was, and of course, things like Negative Land, and, like, this was the kind of electronic music I was into, which was weird haunted textures, which I'm sure Aphex Twin does as well, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Something never made me want to go connect with it. And I liked it. I respected everything I heard, and I loved everything I heard. But for some reason, I was just like, I would be like, Boards of Canada, Aphex Twin, and you can, obviously, everybody likes both, but I was just like, I don't know. I think I'm going to go lean in this direction. For one thing, like, I think a big controversial thing about me is going to say, which I'm going to say right now, is that, like, I'm not really a big fan of, like, man, and everybody loves this, and no one's gonna like it when I say it, but I don't really like a lot of drum and bass and jungle music. I don't get into it. I'm not amused by it that much. I find it just to be a bunch of drums. No one can dance to it, really. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't like it when people play it at my parties because
no one can dance to it.
I don't know.
I mean, it's four on the floor with a bunch of shit in the middle.
I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, and I'm about to get everybody mad at me by saying that, but I'm very sorry. I'd like to listen to Daft Punk instead. Like, I'm very sorry. I'd rather listen to Boards of Canada.
I didn't like it.
I'd rather listen to Negative Land. I'd rather listen to a lot of other electronic music than, like, I don't know, man. I don't even like techno that much, though. So, like...
Dude, I honestly don't like techno at all.
I don't even like melody. Techno, I don't even think people can dance to techno, personally. And that's like... Because you know what? Because guess what? No, they don't know how to fucking dance to it. They do this to it. And nobody fucking has a good time. And it's the same thing over and over again. And, like, I go to the parties all the time, and every time I'm at a party at 3 a.m. at a warehouse, and it's a techno DJ in charge of it, nobody's fucking dancing. They're railing as much drugs as possible to maybe dance to it. But whatever, man.
Dude, techno is the easiest shit to mix because there's no melody at all. Just turn your mids all the way down.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people techno was cool. And I'm not talking about house right now, because house is awesome,
house
right?
Is awesome.
I'm talking about, like, the techno that has no bass and no fun things at all. It's just not fun.
No,
just
it's
me.
So cold and
people are gonna get very angry for these last few things I've said. Whatever, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, does anyone have a counterpoint? Wow, we agreed. It's pretty cool.
But I love house music. Love house. Love French house even more. But
oh, hell yeah.
House is beautiful.
Actually, I have a question for the Vaporspace fellas.
I don't like it that much. But you know what? I will prove me wrong and send me a fucking playlist of the best stuff, and I'll eat crow, probably. I'm sure the thing is that I just haven't listened to enough of it.
Wait, what is it that you don't like?
You guys probably have a lot of really cool shit, and I'll listen to it and be like...
Jungle, okay.
I'm always willing to be like, fuck, I was completely wrong, and I'm sure I am right now. I'm sure of it. Like, this is me.
We gotta make him a playlist of good Jungle.
Make me a playlist.
How do you guys feel about genre tags in general? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're useful? Do you think they're divisive?
They're so important.
I agree.
Yeah, without them, nothing would make sense. Not gonna lie.
Wow,
True.
Ronnie.
I mean,
do I need to get the flames gif ready?
I am not. I'm not good at the genre game, and I don't want to play it.
With the drum beat.
Man, I don't. I have found that it seems like you can't just release an album. You have to release an album and then name a subgenre after the release you just made. And
Vapor
like
Hell.
That
Vapor
kind.
Hell. This man
that
said
kinda,
Vapor Hell.
All
right, flames for the rest of the episode.
That kind of thing. I don't think that's helpful. And I am one of I am an early believer that I wanted to abuse the word vaporwave to include every bit of music that I thought made me feel a little bit, like, you know, if it made me just feel a little bit nostalgic, it got to be a vaporwave or vaporwave adjacent enough for me, and I was just gonna call it vaporwave. And people come at me, that's not really vaporwave. I don't really want to do that.
Do you think home resonance is vaporwave?
Sure.
Sure, yes.
This is the synthwave subreddit.
So,
These
like,
posts-
I think that we needed
use
the
how
genre
many
things.
Chad.
Look here. I think the genre tags are good for the other genres. I think that
They're good
we
for
have,
SEO.
we have the genre tags, and like the other genres can get tagged as whatever their sound is, so that vaporwave may not. You know what I mean? Like create the genre
interesting.
tags for
Okay.
the other stuff, so that vaporwave may be free of it. You know what I mean? The
Interesting
have the genre tags,
perspective.
and vaporwave can be fluid, can be the pool where it all mixes into. And then you could describe your vaporwave by referring to the other genres, right? You know what I mean? You know,
don't wanna
and
tell me
in
the difference
vaporwave,
between
you can take the
broken
various
transmission and
genres you like
signal
and put them together.
I think that if the words like imagine if people just made like ocean grunge or sea punk and just called it like house, like tropical house, and then they never had this fun little genre invented off of like that word,
Right.
right?
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
I would,
That's fine.
like, some things would not exist if they didn't have that word behind them. Like all of Witch House would just be like Russian industrial like trap music. I don't even know.
That's actually a pretty good
it's kind of
description of
important
Witch
for that
House, bro.
reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by my.
What if you think about a person?
Go ahead. Wait.
What if
Are
you
we hearing me
approach
talk?
it from a person?
You guys are roboting.
Yeah. How is everybody roboting? Am I all right?
I mean, you look fine to me, but Paul and Ronnie are like dropping out. Can y'all fellas hear us?
Just a little bit.
Hey, maybe they'll catch up with us.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Y'all gotta turn the Twitch off.
Home residence being vaporwave. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Like, sure,
I
yes,
personally
sure,
don't
no.
care.
I don't. It doesn't matter. Like, is home residence. You know what the nice thing about calling home residence vaporwave is a lot of people will look up vaporwave because of that, and then they'll maybe find something else they like better. Maybe something else they find more interesting. So like, I don't fucking feel the need to safeguard it too much. I do from a lot of things, but like home residence. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not vaporwave, but like it probably not.
It's vapor
but,
adjacent for sure.
but it's adjacent enough where like maybe there's some 16-year-old kid out there who will kind of dig that sound, and he'll type vaporwave in, and then he'll fucking find a fucking Trash Ghosts album or something and be like,
Right.
oh fuck, you
Trash
know what I
Ghost
mean?
is
Like this is
actually
outstanding.
on their upcoming.
Or he'll find Zero Trash Waves album
Yeah.
maybe. His records who I fucking love and be like, oh fuck, and then maybe he'll never even listen to Home Residence again after that. You know what I mean? Like,
I actually like home.
so like that's like my thing about it. Like I don't fucking think it probably not. But maybe now we have a new person who will listen to the music and the art we make. You know what I mean? And be maybe want to contribute their own art. You know, gotta start somewhere, right? There are worse places to start, right? You know what I mean? People could be getting something completely, they could be listening to something completely wrong and calling it vaporwave. And like, you know, not that like home resonance is extremely correct, but like they could be way farther away from the target of where they need to be. Are they restarting their computer right now?
I'm about to ask them if they want to. I'm just typing in the chat. Do you fellas want to leave?
Vaporwave's a tricky
I
thing
see,
to talk
Paul.
about, to find.
You wanna-
you know, it's
you
fun.
guys are
It's a
moving at
fun
about
time though.
0.5 frames per second. I gotta grab a plug for my computer. He's all right. So technical difficulties.
Is that on our end or their end?
I think it's their end, man, because you and I are moving just fine. Maybe the chat, maybe the audience can tell us. I really wanted
maybe
to save
just
the,
all this talk of home residence has just completely jammed the signal,
Ronnie
right?
says they're
of
pwned. I really wanted to save it for when they had brought it up, but maybe now would be a really good time to run the teaser for the upcoming Vaporspace Odyssey show. Because poor Paul is frozen in a really funny position right now. So this is the first time. Let me see if I can figure out how to play this. Let's cut
oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna just cut some audio and shit. Hang on, y'all.
Fuck yeah.
All right,
Wow,
sick.
it worked.
Yeah, so
Sick.
they are
it
still
worked.
frozen.
They're still frozen right now.
Here,
That's a shame.
I'll throw up the TV static. But yeah, that's coming up next Friday. I know y'all hoes are gonna tune in because we got
Boomer Isaac. Adriel says, "Boomer Isaac, no more."
Yeah, Jez.
Yeah.
I need Jez Winter to sing my praises in the chat, please. If DS Dude 500 is tuned in, I'm sorry that it couldn't be the Rosewood event. But yeah, coming up
I really
this
want
Friday.
to just congratulate them too. I really want to get to talking to about like how amazing it is what they do for everybody by setting this all up. And I really wanted to ask Soundmarket about how he found himself getting involved in this with Ronnie. So I hope they come back soon because I'm really interested to know what Soundmarket's journey was into all this, right?
Oh, they dropped out. Now our cameras look super wild. Hopefully they're... Oh, what's up, guys? Hopefully they come back soon. But yeah, man, I honestly, I don't want to like take Ronnie's spotlight away from him, but he told me that he basically had the inspiration to throw his shows because of you and Mr. George Clanton.
Yeah,
So
I think that
cool.
yeah, well, seeing George live is a big deal because I know that you and I both remember when there was no audience for any of this, and just to watch what can be built is a pretty inspiring thing. And George has done a really good job. I mean, that man fucking sacrificed a lot. He did not go to college. He just...
Yeah.
I remember one time, I think I've told this story before, but I was at a show, oh God, I guess back in 2016 or 17. And I remember telling George, I'm like, wow, you're doing so good. You're getting more and more audience every time you do this. And he's like, Chris, I don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah.
I have to make this work. He's like, you need to understand, I have to make this work. And, the nice thing about him is not only did he make it work, but God, he's just remembered all his friends too. And he remembered where he came from and remembered all the people, all our little friends online who were all congregating in the same virtual spaces and didn't forget about any of that. You know what I mean? Because I think the thing that people need to remember is you as an artist are stronger when you are associated with a movement and when you have a group that is around you and with you and that you're associated with, bigger than you, smaller than you, etc., as opposed to just a singular artist who just enters the scene and your career is just determined by whatever management agency you're working with tries to pitch you into. You know what I mean? You're out there on your own when you do it that way, and you'll fall on your own too. You know what I mean? You will be out there on your own and you fall on your own. But you bring not just yourself up, but people tangential to you as well, and then the people tangential to them, and then the people tangential to them. You are now creating a landscape that everybody can play and have a nice time in and maybe achieve something within. You know what I mean? Rather than just doing it on your own and saying it's just me. It's just I'm the only one who came from nowhere. You know what I mean?
That's one of my favorite things about
it. Makes
this
your
scene,
movement
man.
strong. It makes you stronger when you have when you're associated with a movement. That's just... Go ahead. You were saying?
One of my favorite things about this scene is just how many people are willing to help each other up to create a family. Like Maki said in the chat, a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gatekeeping, man, in other scenes. I mean, I have feet in the synthwave scene, the lo-fi house scene. I don't make music, but I DJ it. But there is the camaraderie, man, and the just willingness to build a community is just so unique to this scene. And it's why I obviously have kind of made a home here.
I think the one of the big criticisms is people being too nice, right? That's the big criticism.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let me tell you, dude, people can be nice all they want, but if people don't vibe with the album, don't vibe with the music, I don't know. You don't need anybody to tell you no. You'll just feel it, and you'll just feel that you're not connecting. And then you will learn to be your own critic. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll learn to do better because you'll feel you're not... There's some people who pound their head against the wall. They're like, I don't understand. I'm nice to everybody. They're nice to me, but, I'm not doing quite this or that or whatever. And it's maybe you got to go back to the drawing board, dude. You got to go back to the drawing board. I think I always tell people, the biggest thing you need to do is be your own critic, right? You have to demand the best from yourself. Level up, man. Level yourself up. Look at what you're doing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Put your song in a playlist between the artists you like in front and the artists you like behind, and maybe some other artists sprinkled in too. See if when your song comes in is there a dramatic drop in the aesthetic of what you were going for. You know what I mean? Based on these other artists that inspires you. So, you know, you got to learn to savage your, I've said it before, just learn to savage your own work, man. Like, what's a critic going to tell you? They're going to tell you how to be more like what they want. They're going to be more like what they're going to tell you what to be like based on what they want. Like, what the fuck that? No.
Right.
I remember talking to Yuni last week, the other couple weeks ago, and I was like, he's like, well, would you remember like when do you send your music out to some people? And he's like, yeah. He's like, do you get bad responses? He's like, fuck no, I already know it's good.
We got the fellas back.
He's like, I don't need any. He doesn't need anybody to tell him. Wait,
wrong place. Oh,
where am I?
Dr. Chris, you're Vaporspace now. What's up?
I'm Vaporspace now? Oh, wow.
All right, y'all get to see the nuts and bolts of this stream.
Wait, how do we
Sorry that we were gone.
around?
No, that's okay.
How do we flip this around?
I'll fix it, dude. I got this.
Hey, you know, I wanted to get to, well, now that we're back, first things first I wanted to say to you guys was, you know, just thank you for the amazing work that you do, putting these things together and creating a really fun space for everybody to play in and getting everyone involved too. It's just really admirable what you guys do, and it's gosh, what a labor of love, and what a huge appreciation from me and everybody else who tunes into the things you guys put together all the time. It's really phenomenal work, and it's just like it elevates every time. The form has been elevated because of I think originally because of Vaporspace Online, the first one you guys did. I think that like elevated the form a lot and set a big precedent for everyone else to kind of follow in the way that they organize the shows. And I think that was a big deal, you know, in my opinion at least. Sound Market, how did you get involved in all this? By the way?
We want to talk to you, man.
I want to know how you got involved in this whole scene.
I'll give you like the whole scene, or with Vaporspace.
Let's start with the scene first.
Yeah, let's
and then
hear it
we'll
all.
Vaporspace.
I heard, no joke, it was /MU, and someone posted Blank Banshee in 2012.
Wow.
Nice.
And I've been in the scene since then.
Was teen pregnancy
Awesome,
your first
man.
experience?
It was definitely teen pregnancy.
Yeah, that's
and I started
Chris
listening.
favorite.
That still slaps, man. I play that
dude,
at
I love
any dance party. Any dance party I'm DJing, I can put that song on. People go nuts.
I'm more of an eco
even if they don't know,
guy,
even
but
if they don't know
I
the
got
song.
respect.
Like that song slaps. I don't even want to hear people cast any aspersions against that song being cliche or whatever.
I love it.
Fuck you, man. You don't even know how well that song plays on dance floors. People fucking love it. That song's a classic. I don't even care if it wouldn't even have to be Vaporwave. It would still be a classic. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just
That
production
kicks.
is so crazy. Like
It's really just very like exacting. You know what I mean? Like it's exactly what it needs to be. It's good.
Totally.
Perfect.
I love it.
But anyway, how'd you get involved in Vaporspace then?
I love this story. So, one time, I was in class at college, and I was not paying attention. I was on r/Vaporwave.
Okay.
I was scrolling, and I saw that a guy said, it was like, does anyone else in St. Louis listen to Vaporwave? And I was like, oh, dude, I'm in St. Louis, and I listen to Vaporwave. Whoa!
How about that?
So then I was just like typing with my big two fingers, and I was trying to write a message to Ron, and I was like, man, maybe I should spell check this again. But then I met him, like I sent him, and I was like, hey man, I'm from St. Louis, let's like gang up, dude.
Thanks for the follow, JC Harris.
And then from then it's just history, and I mean, it's just a testament to how good Ron is at meeting teenage boys online.
I'm dying right now.
Yeah, he's a pro at it at this point.
I can't. That's too funny.
I mean, it's pretty crazy how like there are people from all different ages that are involved in Vaporwave, dude. There's, you know, I feel like a lot of us are in our 20s and 30s, but there's kids, there's people in their 40s, maybe even 50s. Like,
yeah, this guy's pushing 60.
I hope somebody clipped what Sound Market said about Ronnie just a minute ago.
Whoops.
Skelly is a strong defender of teen pregnancy.
Ron is great at reading teenage boys online.
That was a joke, though. Ron's not a pedophile.
No, it's fine.
We know Ron.
We know Ron
Song that's on in the background while we talk about this.
These are the worst hot takes that have ever hot takes.
Yeah, that's like, we should move on. I don't
Coming on to the show was a
Okay, so I have heard...
So what, go ahead.
No, I wanted to hear how Sound Market discovered Vaporwave. I also don't think I ever heard what Ron's first experience with Vaporwave was. Was there a specific song or album?
Yeah, was it? Yeah, that's right. What was it?
This is not... I did not answer the question. It doesn't have a great answer. It was Home Resonance.
That's fine.
Home Resonance kicks ass, dude. I don't care what
Hold on, let me
says.
stop for a second. Let me stop, because that literally just proves my point about, like, you know, we can say, Home Resonance, maybe not Vaporwave, but what did it do? It got Ron into Vaporwave. Like, motherfucker, that shit got Ron into Vaporwave. If Ron didn't hear Home Resonance, maybe he wouldn't have started hearing some other things, and maybe Vaporspace wouldn't even exist. And so, like, that's the purpose that some of these songs so us, who are really deeply involved in the scene, everyone in this chat pretty much who's really deeply involved in the scene, yeah, we might be sick and tired of some of these songs, and we might be very specific about, like, motherfuckers, like, this isn't really what this is, and, like, we're entrenched in it, right? But then other people aren't, and sometimes they hear Home Resonance and they're like, that's pretty cool, and then they go look a little deeper, and they're like, oh, this is cooler. They're like, oh, this is even cooler. Oh my god, I've gotten, like, now I'm like 5 degrees away from that first song I listened to, and yeah, I've got Sewer Slut on or something, right? Yeah, like, I'm really, like, now I'm listening to the Mallsoft compilations. Now I'm doing all this. And now I'm going to set up my own fucking venue. Like, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
now we have
dude,
a whole
I'm going to hand
venue.
out
Now
handbills after live shows.
There's so many artists to play at. A whole fucking spot. So, like, we should all really do our best to not pass the hardest of judgments on people who don't always know right away until they get involved. And the people that don't look any deeper or whatever, man, we don't need them anyway. It's fine. They'll just maybe only listen to Home Resonance and whatever. But then there'll be really cool people like Ron who will just start a whole fucking venue. Like, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. Go ahead.
I went to Chicago a month before I sent him a month before this Reddit post that he reads. I go to Chicago to see George Clanton and Equip play. George is coming through. Yeah, everybody heard it.
Dude, it's amazing.
George is coming through Chicago to on the strength of Slide to party with Equip. It wasn't part of a tour. It was kind of a one-off to Chicago. I was very excited to go. This was my second show that I had been to by myself out of the city of St. Louis in about a couple of months. I saw Brockhampton in Kansas City 2 or 3 weeks before this when Iridescence was number one. Like the night that they announced that Iridescence was number one, Brockhampton comes out onto the stage in Kansas City. It was like, holy shit, guys, we're number one. And then they do the show, and I've never seen a band that was at the top of the charts perform on the night that they were at the top of the charts. That was a lifetime first.
Oh, that's remarkable.
And then
Don McLennan, he was like kind of like pretty big into the vaporwave scene in the early days, and would like download all the music and listen to everything. Obviously, he's still, I think, pretty good friends with Ryan from St. Pepsi. And I still have the messages from Don McLennan messaging me like, yo, Philadelphia, which is one of my Skeleton Lipstick songs, like, that's a dope track. Like, I still got that message from Dom from way back in the day before he was a big superstar. But anyway, back to you. That was that's a pretty big experience, especially their first show by yourself. Your first shows by yourself outside of.
No, it wasn't my first. It wasn't like my first shows.
I know that, but
my first shows
in a while.
I had lost 80 pounds.
Oh, so this is after you lost all the weight.
Yeah.
So it's like you were a new person.
I'm celebrating with my wife. I'm like, I feel so good. I feel so energetic. Can I go see Brockhampton in Kansas City? Yeah. Can I also go see George Clanton in Chicago? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so, like, I'm running off to these shows. I'm having a great time. And after Brockhampton was over, it was over. I just had to go home. Yeah. And after, when George Clanton was over, it wasn't over.
You kept hanging out.
I hung out. I ended up chilling with Aaron Shadrow outside the event.
I remember this. I've heard this story.
He's chilling outside the event. We're all just talking. We're all talking about what a great party it was, what a great show it was, how cool it is to be in Vaporwave, how Vaporwave, it seemed like it was down, but it's up, and everything's going to be, it's all going in the right direction. And I'm just connecting with these people, and I'm believing that, holy shit, this really has legs, and it's, what I'm seeing is the beginning of something, not something that, and it's something that I can help push it along. And the whole way home, because I asked George, I go, when are you going to play St. Louis? Because, I don't think I have enough fans in St. Louis. And it's like, well, okay, what if I go back to St. Louis and we start getting fans and we start getting people who care about this music? Because I just wanted to see these awesome shows. I wanted to see Blank Banshee. I wanted to see George Clanton. I wanted to see Skeleton Lipstick. When they tour, I want them to come to St. Louis.
Bubbleon found the original comment on Reddit.
The original comment on Reddit?
It's
right
Bubbleon,
there,
right? I think that's what
Oh, yeah. That's our
there it
friend
is.
Doug.
How fun. How
Look at that.
fun. Look
We're
at that.
taking a peek at it right now.
Ron,
Thank you, Doug. I love you.
You've really done a good job at curating
Honestly,
it. It's a wonderful collection of people to help you run these events. That's really amazing,
Meeting
right?
teens online. That's what.
oh my god.
Here's a hot take. George Clanton was wrong. He has lots of fans in St. Louis. Like he did before. There were lots of
son.
I've had the Clinton disambiguation conversation many times because you're like,
that is a fun tongue twister. The Clinton disambiguation conversation.
Right.
That's like a ska band.
It's totally a ska band name.
But
look at this. This is me to you when we first met.
Are you guys looking at it right now?
How cute is that?
Oh.
Wow.
Down memory lane.
Hey, I can actually
That's
thank
great, Ron.
Twin Pines Mall for me finding my co-DJ, DJ Zandow Ballet out here in Vegas before the pandemic. Twin Pines Mall.
Twin Pines
Mall, I love you.
TPM,
oh God, I
true
love Twin
homie.
Pines Mall. Twin Pines Mall puts together so many different people, just like behind the scenes, connects people together. That it's just, Virtua 94, who helps me with T-Chill and
Those
sets
guys
up
are
the
so
chill
cool.
station and all that. Like, I got put in contact with them through Twin Pines Mall. Like,
No
that's
way.
like, you put me in
Twin
contact
Pines
with
Mall
them.
is like the matchmaker of the scene.
As long as Twin Pines Mall is out there making another fucking album constantly on another label with another collaboration, I'm like, well, Vaporwave can never die because like Twin Pines Mall is still out there making shit constantly. So I'm like, well, I sleep better at night knowing he's out there doing his thing. And I love that name too because it's a reference to the Back to the Future Mall, right? That changes names when the time frame changes.
Right.
That's such
Instead
a
of, like, Lone
interesting
Pine Mall.
Yeah, right. Then it changed to Twin Pine Mall, just based on like you don't even know what happened in the past that changed it to become that name, right? Isn't that the thing? Like, is that how it works? And I love that because that ambiguity of the fragility of time and reality, like, you mean that's fucking Vaporwave to me. You know what I mean?
I got a question
Playing
for
with
the
fragility-
Vaporspace boys.
Playing with the fragility of time and reality and what you perceive it to be, that's Vaporwave. You know what I mean? That's exactly what the fucking music is. And like half the time
Not
you listen
wrong.
to it and you're not sure where it came from, what time period it's from, or is it the future, the past, or it's a relic of the past from the future. And that's fucking themes to play with, man.
Vaporspace boys, question for both of you. Do you have a favorite either act, album, or like song within the genre? And do you have like a special story for how you discovered your favorite act, song, or album within the genre?
I would say that Blank Banshee is still probably one of my favorites of all time.
Did you see him live?
No, I have not.
He was fucking
very
amazing.
Unfortunate.
Like,
I would
this
like
is him
to
on
do that
NPC.
someday.
He was just fucking moving the whole time. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I've seen videos. I don't know. I would
saw
love
him
to.
when he came live, yeah, in Philly.
I would love to see.
Nice.
It'd be great. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I have this formative experience, Vaporwave related, and I found like this I remember like this was 2015 or 14. I found this website and it didn't have HTTPS before it, so I was already a little scared. And it ended in like .info, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna tread carefully here.
Right.
But it was just this list, and it was like this person made like a tier list of vapor trap artists.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
And
That's
a lot of
such
them
an
I've never
interesting
heard
find.
anyone say anything about some of these artists, like ever.
Wow.
Like, I know that some people kind of know Grayscale Sound, but they're like,
I've met him in person. Super cool
dude.
dude.
Wow.
He
Israel
is
Villa,
so
dude.
good, so good. That's
Super
one of
cool
the
guy.
great ones that I've heard from there. I heard about this band called like Box Boys, which is this really cute little project, and it's all this like really good vapor trap that like I don't think most like at least some of the names are like super weird and obscure, but yeah, I downloaded a bunch of stuff.
That's
from there.
cool.
They had
So
some
vapor
down
trap
there.
was kind of
So,
your introduction.
Fascinating.
totally.
Yeah, I love
and
vapor
I still
trap, dude.
prefer it to most other things.
I
You know
love
what?
vapor trap.
I
Yeah.
find that like a lot of people like they really connect when they're given a given almost like a big archive to travel through.
Yeah,
Like, someone presents
totally.
you with an like it reminds like Yuni Wa was talking about how like when he first got into music, it was like his uncle who gave him like this like hard drive with like several gigabytes worth of music, so he just constantly
Yeah.
clicking through it. It's like you got this list with several different types of artists. You're like, holy shit, where do I want to start first? Like, you know what I mean? And then you just click through it, and it just becomes a formative experience when you really connect with like a world like that. You're like, wow.
That's why we've
a
gotta
world
keep,
for me to
like-
explore.
We've got to keep doing the like best of the year. People always
Yeah.
do their best of the year albums, like for Vapor r/Vaporwave and stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta
I
like
agree.
keep doing that because it catalogs it so well, and it's like a time capsule because
Yes.
when you just see the like when something happened, it's kind of hard to process it. But when you have like a little graphic like that of the year and everything that came out, it really makes you like think about it harder and
For
think
sure.
about where Vaporwave has been and where Vaporwave is going.
For sure.
So it's like a roadmap to that.
What do you?
I know.
Why? Let me
I
ask
love
you
it.
guys. Why Vaporwave? Why not something else? Why
It would-
Vaporwave?
It would be C-Punk
why you guys did
STL if it was still big.
It would be what?
I fuck
It
with
would be
C-Punk
C-Punk
too.
STL.
CPS.
Right.
Yeah.
Why Vaporwave to express yourself within this scene? Like why Vaporwave for you guys? Like what was it about Vaporwave that you're like, I want to express what I feel about things and I like these artists in this scene? Like why Vaporwave? Why not any other scene? Like what was it that made you guys be like, this is it? I'm gonna stick to this. I like this. This speaks to me. What's it?
It's
What's
pretty
it?
chill.
Interesting.
Like, it's a good vibe. It's relaxing.
I've always been drawn to the down-tempo side of electronic music. I mean, whenever
Yeah.
I
The
like
slower,
house
fatter
music, I like going to raves, but Future Sound of London, The Orb, Mark Farina's Mushroom Jazz series, Air, other, kind of ambient house acts always kind of brought me in. The last band I really paid attention to before I left electronic music really was like Boards of Canada and Lemon Jelly, and those were, and then I left the scene because I wasn't hearing a lot of what I liked, and then when I got back in to listening to things that are the things that you find after you find home resonance and you decide that you want to listen to more Vaporwave. There are certain things that you're gonna find because you ask the computer what is Vaporwave, and it's gonna tell you that Macintosh Plus is Vaporwave. It's gonna tell you that Esprit is Vaporwave. It's gonna St. Pepsi is going to be mentioned. There are names that you're gonna hear that are gonna come back whenever you go computer. What is Vaporwave? and you ask me like, what's my favorite album? I mean, it's Slide. It's no cap. I was
Hell yeah, bro.
I was in the throes of listening to Virtua.zip and had no idea that Esprit was George Clanton or that George Clanton was Esprit. I had heard some things by George Clanton that had come up off of 100% Electronica and really hadn't, connected it with the Esprit sounds that I was hearing because, again, I was really into this Virtua.zip, did not know, but the internet fucking knew. Excuse me. It's first time.
Oh,
The
man.
internet
We're gonna have to
absolutely
take this one
knew.
down.
The internet knew that I liked Esprit and they were like, hey, we know that you like Esprit. Did you know that Esprit is George Clanton and that George Clanton has this new album? And I was like, no, I did not know that. Let me listen.
What was your response when you realized that when you clicked on Vaporwave, it was like, well, 1 second they're telling you it's George Clanton, and the next second it's St. Pepsi, or it's Luxury Elite, or it's Cat System Corp, or it's Telepath, or it's all these other different, or it's NXXXS, or it's all these different sounds. Was that like a little bit like, oh, what? It goes in this many directions? Like, what'd you think of that?
They all made me feel nostalgic. They all made me feel like I was in this temporal time period that was hearkening me back.
Was it a weird thing to hear all these different sounds under the same genre?
Yeah.
Is that like an interesting thing to you? I mean, but I guess since you had experience with things like the Orb or Aphex Twin, that you were used to artists who would play with different types of sounds, right?
And when I went to raves, there was a jungle, there was a drum and bass stage, there was a house stage, there was a techno stage. So all these sounds existed together, and they all got updated one way or another into these different kind of camps for vaporwave. Like I could hear a little bit more of the techno influence on the dream punk side. I can hear more of the house influence on the future funk side. I can feel more of the ambient influence on the slush wave and mall side.
Oh yeah, the ambient influence in the cyberpunk scene or dream punk scene. I mean,
if I was open to all these interpretations and vibes in the 90s, and I can be open to all these interpretations and vibes of this music now, vaporwave has it all for me. I can find an artist in my scene making music for any occasion, for every occasion. Whether I want to dance, whether I want to sleep, whether I want to make love, whether I want to exercise, even if I want to rap.
And Ron does rap a lot. I'll say that right now.
Ron does rap a lot.
Ron has his own little rap project.
I'm talking about that Internet Club album, but.
Now, Mark, were you in your teenage years when you discovered vaporwave?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like very young. I don't know.
Wow.
That's such a strange concept to me.
Right? Because like so for us, though. It's like the genre didn't. It's a very interesting thing to see people young enough to grow up with vaporwave.
Yeah, dude, I was a fucking adult, dude.
Music. As a preferred subculture music, you know what I mean? Like it's like when I talk to Fiber too.
School.
Yeah, it's like when
early high school.
Yeah, that's like when I talked to Fiber, Alex, as well. It's like, it's very interesting to see you guys as like the first generation to discover vaporwave, and grow up with it as like your preferred subculture music. That's so fucking cool.
It is, dude.
That's like, I never,
do you find yourself looking up the source tracks and like liking them or not
like
really?
That.
Absolutely. Well, before I listened to vaporwave, I listened to a lot of R&B and like jazz stuff. I'm a big Dave Matthews Band fan, so things just started feeling right when I found future funk.
Are you kidding me? You're a Dave Matthews Band fan?
Ron.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't mean the same thing to you and me as it does to people younger, right? Like, so for me and Ron, like Dave Matthews Band was like, fuck you, like, because we grew up with it, and it was like we were listening to punk music, and all the fucking douchebags went to go see the Dave Matthews Band concert, and we were like, fuck you. I remember like being like, fuck this shit. We go see punk music. Fuck Dave Matthews. But now we're like 20 years removed from that, right? Ron, we're like far away from that. So like Dave Matthews Band doesn't mean the same thing anymore. And the kids who are discovering it now, it's not the same culture as it was when we discovered it. Like, I guarantee that there are people from like the 80s who are like, you listen to fucking like, like Journey? Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck Journey. That's bullshit music. And we went to go see Black Sabbath. Fuck Journey.
Right.
Like, but for us, we like Black Sabbath and we like Journey because it doesn't have the same cultural reference point for us, right? But I guarantee that there's stoners in the 70s, stoner metal dudes in the 70s who were like, you listen to Journey? Fuck you.
Right.
Like, we listen to fucking, like, we're going to go see fucking Black Sabbath.
Misfits. And now it's like, oh, you listen to the Misfits?
It wasn't even the Misfits yet, probably then. But they were probably like, yeah, man, like, we listen to fucking Ozzy and shit. Fuck Journey. But, like, for me, it's like, Journey's fun. And so we got to don't judge him too rough. It's a different time. All right.
I appreciate you can.
I get it, Ron. I got it. I just want you to know.
Flashing kind of white there, like.
But it was
Ron
very different.
all kinds of shades of red.
Meant a very different thing when I was 14 than it does now. When I was 14, it was like that's like fuck that. Like I was gonna go see like a punk rock band or something like that. But different time. I think we're done ragging on Sound Market for Dave Matthews because it's what, man. If I just heard it at like 15 or 16, I was far away from the time period. I'd be like, yeah, all right, I'll dig it, man. No big.
Do you keep up with punk or hardcore at all?
Do I keep up with punk or hardcore? Not really, because it's just, in my opinion, like the genre has sort of had its time, and like I DJ'd the after parties for the last This Is Hardcore festival in Philadelphia. Like I DJ'd the after parties, and I was super excited because I still love these bands, and I got to sit on stage when Keith Morris, who used to be the singer for like Black Flag and some stuff, was doing his band and Circle Jerks as well. Like he was doing the big Off, and I'm a big Keith Morris fan. I got to be on stage for that, and I'm a huge Wisdom in Chains fan, and I got to see them. But like the fact of the matter is that all these big acts from hardcore are like from like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
like there like aren't that many new band. Like the last really like great new hardcore band was like Jesus Piece, and it's even been a little while since they started. So like, even I think it's something like Trapped Under Ice or those bands. They're like from a while ago. So my point is that, and when I went to it, a lot of the people at it are pretty old,
oh yeah, totally.
So like, yeah, I don't keep up with it anymore. I still has a special place in my heart, but I don't keep up with it anymore because Time's Arrow kind of moves forward, and I'm on to something new. And like, I loved hardcore when I was in my teenage years. And there's a lot of stuff I loved when I was like in my early 20s and teenage years. Like one of my favorite bands ever was this angular post-punk band called Q and Not You. That was
I remember Q and Not You.
Oh god, I love Q and Not You. They're so good. No Kill No Beep Beep is a fantastic album, and I loved it. But I just don't visit it that much anymore, just because I don't really visit a lot of guitar music that much anymore.
Right.
I just don't, there's some foods I don't eat as much anymore either that I still love, but I just don't eat them as much anymore. I don't know. I'm always, so there's artists in every type of music that are strong artists with important things to say. And, it's like, great artists aren't just in one genre. They're in all the genres, and you got to just keep moving forward and branching out and finding them. And I don't know, it's what I've been doing my whole life. So, all this music I listened to when I was a teen or in my early 20s has a special place in my heart, but I just don't seem to find myself revisiting it that much anymore.
Guys, Quiz had a really good question in the chat. Quiz said, and this is actually a good question for you too, Chris, is there a song that people always demand at shows but falls flat at the club when you put it on?
Ooh, gosh, that's a great question.
I guess like a song that people think will work really well live that doesn't, like...
Well, there's a lot of like future funk that you think would work really well live, but doesn't. So there's a lot of future funk that's fucking phenomenal and kills on the dance floor. Like obviously, like any like Moy shop is like gonna kill on the dance floor. A lot of stuff by Superflat. Oh, more than anything else in the world, Superflat kills on the dance floor. That motherfucker knows how to produce party music, not just dance music, dance party music. So there's a lot of future funk that sounds dancey when you're bouncing around in your chair listening to it. Like it's an edit of like a city pop song, and it's fun when you're dancing to it at home. But in a club, it don't really work too well, honestly, because there's just not enough happening in it sometimes. The thing about dance music is like you got to have a lot of different vibes happening in it. And if all you're doing is like speeding up a song and putting a kick drum over top of it, that's great. It's fun to listen to, and I enjoy it. It just doesn't always really do too well in the club, honestly, because it's just not enough happening. So like, and this is another reason why I love Superflat so much. It's like there's just so much happening in those songs. There's like so many different rhythms. Like, man. Yeah, I think that some of those, some of the South American future funk producers, like that's an interesting like combination, right? Coming from that background, and then also mixing city pop and like disco and other stuff into it too. Something really fucking phenomenal is going to come out of that kind of artist, and I think already has with Superflat personally, but even more so, I think him and other artists are going to draw more from their culture to create some cool shit. So yeah, I'd say a lot of those, some of the future funk you would think would do really good. And it doesn't actually. Yeah.
Shame.
No, it's all right. There's plenty of future funks. There's a lot that does really well. Trust me, there's a lot
dude, whenever you put on really Fun Tonight or Better, it's a wrap.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Fucking
you guys. Yeah.
Private Caller. I'm blanking. Private Caller always tears the house down.
Well, you can put like also like Roller Girl, some of the older stuff like that too, and like
Yeah.
Some of the key
I love it,
stuff.
Hey, do you guys like the future funk artist Pop Up? Do you know who that is?
Oh my
I
god!
like what I've heard by Pop Up.
Dude, I love Pop Up. Pop Up
That
is great.
shit's so fun. It's such a fun little artist.
Yeah,
and, like,
Pop Up
cute
is
project.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think Fantano was talking about pop-up this past week.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
That's amazing.
Fantano said some about
Every time I see someone I know on the
genre.
That's a good impression.
every time I see someone that I know like in the scene on Fantano's channel, I kind of freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
You know who else is really great? Is Lola Disco.
Yeah.
Lola Disco's, I swear to God, I could put any fucking song on from Girl Talk in the club and people will lose their shit. Like, those are some fucking, now that's how you fucking edit and do a song, man. Like, that's how you make a future funk song. The way that he edits his stuff, mixes up all the different parts. You never know what's going to happen next. And he'll pick a song that you know very well. You know, he'll pick like a Madonna song, right? Like Lucky Star, and like make it new, make it fresh.
Don't
Daddy.
feed-
Fuck yeah, man. I'll listen to that. That shit kills on the dance floor. But people think they know the song and they don't know the song. Now that's how you fucking do that shit.
You're
man.
right.
That's how you fucking rock that fucking shit.
Girl Talk and Don't Feed the Animals is one of the albums from
Don't Feed
the
the Animals. That's such a great
electronic world that punched through to me during my hiatus. Like,
Don't
somebody
Feed the
was
Animals
like,
is such a
you
good
need to
album.
have this, Ron. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. And I listened to it. I was like, oh, fuck, this is really good. And
Nice,
so
man.
I went and saw him play in probably 2008, 2009.
You saw Girl Talk?
And, yeah. And,
Wow, so fun, man. I wish I could have
with-
seen Girl Talk.
and
So fun.
just
And
like
that
as
era
a bolt out of the
especially.
blue, as a
Wow,
bolt out
so
of the
fun.
blue, wasn't listening to any good. I wasn't listening to any other electronic or computer produced music at the time. I was listening to so much reggae, and all of a sudden,
Wow.
except Girl Talk.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was me
You
with
had, like,
Animal
a
Collective's
dub
My
phase.
Girls. It pulled me like back
love
from
that
a
song.
cliff. It's a weird,
Yeah.
like, not really something I'm
Animal
into anymore, but
Collective.
man, was I an Animal Collective stan back in the day.
Animal Collective is like one of the albums, one of the
Big
bands
time.
of the fucking decade, man. Like of that whole fucking
Oh,
decade.
dude,
Like
the
that's
late
like
2000s were just
that
proto
band
vapor.
might possibly be like, and all the things that it spawned and all the artists that were inspired by it, including like myself probably and a lot of other early vapor people. That band's like one of the bands of the fucking
Dude,
decade,
like,
man, of the 2000s.
Who cares about the
It's like
Zodiac
the
or
band,
your
man.
personality, ENFP, whatever? What's your favorite Animal Collective
What's your
album?
favorite Animal
That's what I want
Collective
to know.
album?
I don't even know this band, so
Oh, you got to dig into it, man.
I'll
They're
have
great.
to
Well, you
make
probably
it
you
up.
might. Do you know Panda Bear at all?
I know of them.
So
I
you know
don't
Person
really-
Pitch. So the album Person Pitch by Panda Bear was like a tremendous influence on a lot of the early vapor people. Like Person Pitch was that album was big influence I think on a lot of
Yeah,
us.
it kind of birthed
that
the chill wave
combined with
genre.
like One O Tricks Point Never's output, whether it be under his name or under the pseudonym Games or under Ford and Low Patton. Or of course the Memory Vague tape, you know, all that
Right.
stuff that he did, and of course, and I didn't even mention Chuck Persons, right? But you know, all of his stuff was so fucking influential, and it was like combined with a lot of like the Person Pitch stuff, and also combined a lot with the James Ferraro stuff, which we all know, the Far Side Virtual stuff. But also, I think to a good degree that people don't really think about, but is totally there, is like Tobacco and the way that he produced his music, you know, and would run it through tape decks and damage the tape decks on purpose. And like I know that was like a huge influence on me, like that, and plus also the chill wave bands, right? All that stuff came together to I think kind of inspire a whole new generation of artists that are what's happening now, I guess. My looking arounds at the
If
time.
you like
at least.
weirdo, like stoner indie rock, Ronnie, you'd like Animal Collective.
Oh gosh, yeah,
especially
Ron,
like
you should really dig into it. You'll find an album by Animal Collective that's going to be the one that you connect with, and you'll have a good time. You'll have yourself a good time, friend.
I'll have to check it out. I was a big, you mentioned Tobacco. I really liked Black Moth, Super Rainbow.
Oh,
like,
me too.
Just
Love it.
get down on and that was just
Love it.
another, like, I wasn't really listening to music in this genre, but people who knew me made sure that album made it to me. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
God, once again, I want to say, you guys know a lot about music. I don't know a lot about music.
Sound Market literally knows like every vapor trap out, like artist ever.
Yeah, I want to know who some of the other high-ranked vapor trap albums were, because Grayscale Sound is the GOAT.
I don't even know. I don't know
Grayscale.
I have to now listen to that. I don't know that. So like,
you guys
know a lot about music.
Sub-Eris,
you guys
for
are
sure.
both DJs. Your job as DJs is to like listen to and really connect with music. That's what makes your role so important. You know,
yeah, but
like,
I'm really bad about being like in every genre. I'm spread super thin.
Isaac is definitely Isaac's a better DJ than I am. Like honestly, like Isaac is like the purebred, right? He does DJing. This is what he does. He kills it. Like I'm like a day walker, because like I'm first and foremost Skeleton Lipstick as the producer and whatever, and then I developed the DJing so I could create the party, so I could promote the vaporwave scene and bring people in and have a nice room for other people to create and celebrate this great music and have a nice time. And when I first I'd been listening to vaporwave for a long time, and I was like, this shit is dance floor ready. I was going to parties all the time, like this shit's dance floor ready. Like there's the vapor trap, there's the future funk, there's the anthemic stuff, like the George Clinton songs that you can sing along to and jump to. Like you got that energy going on, right? You've got like the chill energies, like that are still like upbeat enough. Like you've got like that sort of vibe, right? Not to say home resonance, but you got like a vibe like that in a lot of different music too. You got the funk stuff. So like I always thought like this shit's just ready for the dance floor, man. These people have worked really hard on this music. We've all worked really hard on this music. It's time to extend it onto the dance floor and turn it into a party format in the same way techno is a format, goth is a format, indie dance is a format, right? There are parties that do this, so I was like, well, why not vaporwave, man? It's time. And then people have another way to put their music out there.
How do you guys get people to show up? Because that's really important. You can get out there and DJ, but how do you get people to come?
We go to everyone and say, hey, come to the show, and we hold a flyer in their face.
That's
really
what I've
pushy.
heard.
Ron's always,
I've heard Ron talk about this in interviews before.
Stand outside of other shows, pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I've heard this in interviews before with Ron.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, to be perfectly honest, I don't know how the hell else I was going to do it. I have been to, listen, all right.
To go,
it's hot takes, so I'm just going to go off.
Oh, shit.
I've been to shows with 10 to 15 people, and those shows make me feel sad. I don't feel good for the artists. I don't feel good for anybody involved with the amount of work that it took to put on a show and not see it properly promoted or in event. Like people get this vibe for a house show, and I've been to house shows where it's like, wow, there were 15 people at the show, and it didn't feel like it was empty. But it's still like, why did this band come from the East Coast to play for 15 people? What is so? This is just whacked out. Like, it should not go like this. PAs exist in the city. Clubs exist in the city. Let's get people together to hear and celebrate music. And I was always like, I'm going to promote my show. Yes. I'm going to promote this show. And so I wanted to reach people that were already went to shows, because that's good. If you go to shows, you might like my show. If you like electronic music, you might like our show. I like electronic music. You might like electronic music.
And if you like partying, come do it next week. It's and people love that. They're like, oh yeah,
that's
next week I want to do something with them too.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, and we were passing out dope flyers that looked cool. We were telling you that it was a part. I would advertise it as parties. Like, party at this spot, come check it out. Vaporwave and Future Funk party.
I mean, it is a party. Like, it's a party.
Absolutely.
All the time. But, I would get permission to be outside of the bigger shows. Like, when Grizz came to town with, it was Grizz and Flamingosis.
Yeah.
Flamingosis?
Flamingosis, nice.
Flamingosis opened for Grizz? How fun.
That's a great show.
Actually, I think Young Bay opened for Grizz at one point, too.
Actually, it was Young Bay, not Flamingosis. It was totally Young Bay and Grizz.
Oh, okay. I know that show. I remember that one.
And when they came through, like at this point, I'm emailing the biggest club in St. Louis and going, are you guys going to run me off if I pass out flyers for similar music, outside your guys' show? And they checked their calendar. We're like, well, we're doing a bluegrass show on the night of your show, so yeah, you can hand out
Bluegrass
flyers.
show.
I don't, it's like I don't think you'll wear our bluegrass crowd down by handing out flyers for your vaporwave show. But we make cool flyers. I get them printed in batches of 1,000, and it's my job to get rid of 1,000 in 4 weeks.
And we'll just go to shows, and like sometimes you just go in and leave them on the tables and stuff. And
Sick.
or you just stay.
Always stand outside. Always smoke a big joint.
I mean, sometimes you
Sam
just want to
Thacker
go.
told me a lot about his techniques.
Sam is like he is a road team guy. He is just legendary at getting the word out there. I don't know how he does it, bro.
Dude,
he just knows everyone.
It's unbelievable.
And then we would bang the socials, but I mean, I'm banging the socials so much harder for the URL stuff.
You bang the socials so like hard and enthusiastically, man. Like I actually know that no matter what you're doing, man, like you really do it, man. You really kill it with that. That's strong fucking work, man.
It's like you're complimenting a junkie. It doesn't matter. Like I like these social media fucking platforms are the bane of my existence.
They just eat your soul.
I feel like I'm on them all day. I feel like they want everything. Everything they want to know, everything I'm doing. They want to know where I am. And they show me shit that I want to buy. Like they're just like, oh, you like this? You like this, Ronnie? One day I'm going to pull the ripcord, and I'm never going to look at Twitter or Facebook ever again. I'm never going to look at Twitter or Facebook or Instagram ever again.
I feel you, man. Like every time I would do a show for Terminally Chill or whatever, it would be I would set up the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads, and I would target them not just in the city, but I would also drop a little pin at the suburbs around the city as well, and do like a 10-mile radius from those. And that's what really helped me kind of increase the people coming to the party. And also, in my opinion, it's just a lot easier, and I've said it before, it's a lot easier for me personally because I'm selling a dance party, not a show. And I just think dance party people come primed to dance. They know they're going to be there till 2 a.m. They can stop in, stop out. They can only come for 15 minutes if they want to, and go to Wawa and come, or 7-Eleven, come back. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to when a band plays and you're there, you have to stop and stay. And it's harder to sell a show, in my opinion, than it is to sell a dance party, which is what I do, right? I think it's harder to sell the shows. Dance party is pretty. People don't even need to know vaporwave, but maybe they want to go out. It's a dance party. You know what I mean?
I generally assume that people that I'm handing a flyer to probably don't know almost anybody on that flyer. If I get somebody who takes a flyer from me and goes, oh, I know that guy, that is a huge deal.
Yeah,
so I'm giving you a flyer that has cool art on it and telling you that I have got a good time for you. Let me tell you, being 40 doesn't help that. Being 40 doesn't help that. It is something that you got to get over.
Is that why you got that sick mohawk, bro?
Yes.
That's it's really interesting.
That's why you got a mustache. That's why you got a mohawk. That's why you got an effervescence.
Some people an effervescence. You in the chat. I hope you know that.
That's it. Nailed it right there. That's what Ron is. That's the trick right there. And that's what Ron has is the effervescence.
The two people.
He's the guy that you want to be friends with when you walk by him. You want to be friends with Ron. You know what I mean? I remember when I first met Ron, I was like, I want to be friends with Ron.
Standing in line at Econ LA, where of course you, Chris, because you walked right up to me and you were like, I'm so glad I finally got to meet you. And Ronnie. Yeah. And I did not know Ronnie at that time.
Yeah, but I'd known you for years.
Right, you'd known me for years. I did not know Ronnie. Ronnie walked up and down that line, and he was just hyping everybody up. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I really think he's cool. I want to be his friend.
Of course, I met Ron at the show right before Electronicon for 18 Karat Affair and surfing, and I was dancing up at the front.
I'm so jealous.
And I noticed Ron was dancing up at the front, and then I was just like, Ron was getting everybody involved in the show, everybody dancing. He had the best energy. He had that effervescence, as we spoke about just now. And I think Ron knew who I was and gave me, I didn't know Ron knew who I was, but he did give me that zine from St. Louis, which I still have on my shelf. And it was like specifically even said Dr. Chris on it. And I was like, holy fuck, fuck? Like I wasn't even on Twitter yet. Like I don't even like know. Like I never joined Twitter, so like I wasn't sure who would or wouldn't know me. George had been telling me for years to join Twitter and said that's where all the vaporwave people are, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. So like it took me like a 9 years in the scene before I even made a fucking Twitter. But like I don't know how, but Ron seemed to have a thing for me, and it was like even labeled Dr. Chris, and I was like, oh man, I think that maybe you saw the after party that was happening, and I maybe looked up what Terminally Chill was. I don't even know, but like, man, you were on it. Motherfucker did his research, knew everybody, and was trying to meet as many people as possible just to make people happy, just to create a fun experience for everyone. Just nurturing, if I had to say something about Ron, it'd be the aspect that what he does is he nurtures a lot. He nurtures a lot of people to be their best and to be appreciated and to do their best.
There's a lot of tough love too. He
kindness.
pushes people too. He's doing it to me right now.
Of course. Yeah.
I want it to grow. I feel like it deserves all the growth and the attention that it just needs. It just needs people to get together behind it. I think artists who are making music have plenty of work to do. You have plenty of work to do to get a good album together. You really do.
Yeah, you do.
DJs should be this other group that says we want to play the good music for you and we want to throw a party. St. Louis is the 20th biggest city in America. All right, there should be 20 vaporwave scenes that are bigger than ours. There should be 20 of them, and there are like 4 or 5. Yeah. So like that doesn't make sense. Every city should have someone, and it should be DJs. It should, like, DJs start these parties. DJs start these crews. And the landscape is completely different in every city than it was a year ago.
That's literally why I became a DJ. It was the easiest way to create easiest way to bring together the scene was to have a dance party.
Wow, this guy DJs now? And he's DJing ska? Okay.
DJs gotta make
some other parties before they wouldn't let me start with the vaporwave party.
I know.
I had to do. I did the ska party because I knew it would work once, and now we could use it. You could use the fact that I did a successful. The novelty of the ska party. People would come to it, and they did, and then I was able from that to get some other DJing gigs. And, because, I don't think the ska party ain't going to get the same crowd the next time you do it. But the first time you do it and you get someone to come and take photos too. Like I have my buddy Rich, obviously, maybe, who takes a lot of photos. Rich came, took photos of the crowd, took photos of me, made it look really good. I was able to sell that. Then my friends who are promoters called Riot Nerd, they had me start doing this like 90s, alternative dance party. And then from that, got some other gigs and then was able to sell the Vaporwave party, which is what I always wanted to do in the first place. But anyway, back to you guys. The nurturing the growth of all these people. And as you were saying,
it doesn't take no work. I don't want to get out there and be like, oh, anybody can do this. You can do this in your spare time and you can throw a wicked party. That's not what I'm saying.
It's not like that at all. You got to actually you got to do the thing. You got to do the thing properly.
That's 100% correct. You've got to promote it. And guess what? It doesn't make money.
That's like the funniest thing to me was everybody people be like, it's all about the money, it's all about the vapor bucks. I'm like, what fucking vapor bucks are you talking about?
I don't know how the dubstep scene works. Yeah, this is niche art. Like electronic music is this little tiny bit of music, and then inside of electronic music there's all this music that makes money, and then there's
all this music that makes money.
Way the fuck. It's like if you are the minute you are like, I'm doing this for the money, or I need a rate of return in order for this to be what I want to do, you're doing the wrong thing. You should go be doing something else.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm not saying that can't happen. But I am going to say that if you're doing it for money, your wires are crossed. I don't see how you work with me. Like the minute you say I'm a professional and there's a professional apparatus around my musicianship, I don't see how you and I do a show.
But I see
you do shows with other people, and I want to go to those shows, and that's great. But I'm not talking to your agent. Your agent doesn't want to talk to me. Your agent isn't going to make enough talking to me to make the time spent talking to me worth it. So
It's all very, very punk rock stuff you're talking about right now. I agree. It is. It's straight up is.
I wish the people who had the agents, I wish I could make these things work. But it's when the word is send me your best offer. And it's not silly. Where can we start our conversation of what we're talking about? It's like, man, we're amateurs. I'm not music industry. We're music enthusiasts. So if what you're doing is part of your production industry and you have to get paid a certain amount to make it worth your time, then you're in a different league. You're in this pro league, and the pro league and I are probably never, ever going to come together because I don't want to be a businessman.
No.
It's saying, and if music is a business, man, I'm not in this business, man.
Yeah, I love what you said that. And honestly, like that's actually the strength of the whole scene, and I would credit that as the longevity to it as well, is the avoidance of falling into the trap of pretending you're some kind of professional and you're going to behave the way that every other artist before you behaves, and in that paradigm, forever, right? Like they all enter that paradigm of this professionalism, and here's my agent, here's my this and that. And the minute you start kind of behaving like that is the minute that you lose control of your genre or your musical movement, your subculture. It's the minute you lose control of your subculture. And it's now no longer owned by you. It's owned by some bigger or higher up corporation now. And now you can be marketed and exploited. And Vaporwave's never fallen into that. You know what I mean? It's always, even the successful people have been in control of their own success and have developed their own, following and their own label or their own, brand or their own, whatever, right? And it's always been in the hands of the artists and the people that care about it. And that's like the big difference with Vaporwave. It's just, that's why it's got the longevity that it does. It's why it's still here. It's why we can still make fun shit.
Do we want to go overtime, or do we want to wrap it up with some shout outs?
I'm going to have to wrap soon because I got to do the worky work.
You got to work.
But why don't we talk a little bit more? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm okay with going overtime a little bit, but I got, I'm on the East Coast. So it's a little late. It's a little bit late for me. I gotta do worky tomorrow. But anyway,
I'm learning a lot about time zones. We got
everybody in a different time zone right now, right? Everyone's in a different time zone right now. Right?
You're our first guests that are not.
Welcome to the future. We're all talking in different time zones.
We're figuring out the Worldwide Wave Festival for June 11th and 12th. Which is
can't wait for that, man.
Be,
very excited to see that, man. I can't wait to see you guys have cooked up.
It's a series of local shows. It's going to be a series of events that are going to raid one another, one after another in a chain, to go around the world and follow the night of partying.
How fun! We're
starting off in the Midwest, going to LA, going to Australia, spreading over into Eastern Europe, spreading over into England with My Pet Flamingo. Coming back around the world to us for the next night, then Pacific Plaza and Pocari Sweat. We've got Utopia District, part of the Saturday afternoon. I mean, we are bringing together.
You got my girl Fantacat. You got my girl Fantacat in there too, right? I heard.
We're very excited. I mean, very excited to work with a lot of people that we haven't worked with before. Very excited to be collaborating with Rosewood, Fantacat, Utopia District, My Pet Flamingo, V-Span, All Hell Breaks Loops.
It's going to be such a sick weekend, dude. I kind of want to try to stay up the entire time, but I know I can't.
Oh my god, I really want to try to.
I'm
really hyped for this. I'm like so excited, and it's such a fun idea, man. It's so fun. What a great community builder, dude. Outstanding work. That's so fun. What a cool event this is going to be.
It'll probably be the last, major URL organized event that we put together, because we are going to focus back on the live shows.
Nice.
Yeah,
this is our peak URL. This is our last possible gift to the URL community is to do this last show and have it be something really big. Have it be something that we can get together with a lot of people, because again, this is all about, like you said, nurture. I want to say momentum. I want everybody, and I love that this is so local, because once again, it's going to organize groups in Europe, because there's no reason that Europe can't have its own vapor festival. The talent exists in Europe. Europe can celebrate the way we celebrated Electronicon. They don't need George Clanton to be in England to throw their own vapor festival. They just have to coagulate. They just have to come together and nurture that sense of community. And I feel like this kind of thing, this thing that is locally pointed to European celebrating European vaporwave. I'm not saying like we're the first people ever to imagine this, don't get me wrong. But like I love the fact that what we're doing when we're doing this global vaporwave festival, it has these localized compartments where we're saying to Australia, Australia, watch vaporwave. England, watch vaporwave. America, watch vaporwave. Just point it out. We got shows for each of you.
How fucking crazy, man. How crazy is all this shit, man? How just fucking weird is it that they're like, oh, we got this like movement and like we're like a big part. We can like, everyone's a big part of it, and it's young and it's new and it's still growing, and it's like, wow. It's like you can really be a part of something. It's pretty fucking phenomenal, right? It's pretty crazy when you just sit back and think of it. You're like, man, it's really cool to be just like involved in something with so many wonderful people that are pretty cool that I never would have met one way or I never would have met otherwise. Like I wouldn't have met Isaac or you guys, without this. That's crazy. Like you guys are my friends, and I never would have had you as my friends without this. Like 100%. It's weird for me, and like for me, like even talking about like Isaac, who I maybe have known for like, I don't know, probably at least like 7 years at least, right? At least maybe 8.
Yeah.
Even like at least, right? Probably something like that. Long while, and it's like it's weird to have like eventually like having like old friends, or like I see Lux in the chat who I've known forever, before she was even Lux, and she was just, didn't start that project yet. Like, but it's fun to have like friends that you're like, oh, where do you know them from? Oh, from high school. Oh, from work. Oh, from college. Where do you know them from? Music making. Like, that's a weird thing, man, to have friends who are from like old friends. Old good friends that are from Vaporwave. Like that's like most people. Old good friends are from like college, or they worked with them for a while, right? This is the whole thing. It's weird. It's fun. I really dig it. Real fun thing. Good stuff.
Yeah,
dude.
You guys have anyone in particular y'all want to shout out, or other than Worldwide Wave? Do you guys have anything you want to put like an expose on, or?
Yes, I do. You should press the button.
You ready for that again?
Press the button.
All right, hang on. There's actually several buttons to press.
Did you already?
I played it already. Let's do it again.
While you guys dropped out for.
All right, so let's turn that audio off, and we're back.
Thank you.
Vaporspace Odyssey, Friday. When does it start? Central Time?
It's going to be 8 p.m. Central Time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. 6 Eastern.
We got Equip R23X. We got
Nameless
Trash Ghost.
Streamers.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
With Mr. Mello, visuals.
Mr. Mello on visuals.
Awesome.
Mr. Mello. Love Mr. Mello.
Yeah, I'm told that Trash Ghost set is pretty goddamn
Spike
good.
Stevens. I've seen Spike in the chat tonight. He's been talking about being out in Colorado. Yeah. No vaporwave in Colorado. How the fuck not?
How's there no vaporwave in Denver? That's crazy.
That seems like the right spot to have, for sure.
This feels like the right spot to have.
It's a tough crowd in Vegas, man. I don't know about Denver.
Denver should have a vaporwave scene. This is ridiculous. All right, hey,
Mod, Luxy, we've got TWA.
Ooh,
and Mod, Luxy, TWA, Trash Ghost, Nameless Dreamers, Precursor, and
I remember all this.
It's kind of my job.
Lost Cascades, Maki, thank you.
And Lost Cascades, yes. Who is Sierra Mist?
Yeah, that's right. The home
Sierra. Free Sierra Mist.
You want to talk about breaks?
For sure.
Sierra can throw it down.
Anything else you guys want to shout out?
Thanks for having me. Like,
Yeah,
honestly.
Thank both of you guys
Made
for
a lot
being
of
on here.
sense.
Love, big fans. Admire everything you guys do very much. Love you guys a lot. Thank you for being part of the scene and doing such amazing work and just helping all of us so much. Thank you. Thank you both you guys
Absolutely.
sincerely.
Can't wait to
You
come to
guys-
St. Louis.
The Terminally Chill is like, it really is an inspiration to
Oh.
a lot of what we were thinking about. Like,
I'm happy to
we
hear that.
we were, where do you build something like this? How do you start something like this? I like that you told the story about Electronicon. We were like, it's not normally my course of action to go to New York and LA for shows.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna do it, and I'm running Vaporspace already, we wanted it to be an opportunity to make inroads with people that we knew were making incredible music. George put on an electronic conference.
Yeah.
And, like, I wanted to
Huge
be at
inroads.
every conference.
Oh, my
And
Huge inroads. Like, I knew you were, I was never going to forget you after that. Like, and then I saw you, and I looked for you at Econ too. That's like the thing. Like at Econ too, I looked for you.
I made that zine with Forgotten VCR, who has helped us with all of our
Love Forgotten VCR.
He's taught-
Love Forgotten
so
VCR.
much. Like,
So talented.
Forgotten VCR and I worked on that zine together. We brought in all the artists that we had worked with in St. Louis, all the artists that we had through a Vaporspace show to that point, and put them in the zine because we want you to come to St. Louis when you play. That's what we want you to do. And we want you to play. We want you to come to St. Louis when you play. And if you're in your own city and you have the bandwidth, we want you to throw a Vaporwave event. Like, do it. Just bring it online. Just go for it. Throw an event.
It's worth all the work because you'll meet so many good people. 100%. You'll meet a bunch of people.
And then
on
that
the
probably
little
makes it
mall.
easier going from there because everybody wants to be involved.
Yeah. And I mean, with how it's getting a little more mainstream, I think people are more excited about the idea in general.
It might blow up, but it won't go pop.
No,
Yeah, that's what I think. It'll blow up, but it won't go pop. I see Big Balls asking what happens when it becomes more mainstream. I don't know. Not sure. But hopefully it stays in the hands of the people. As long as it stays in the hands of the people that care about it, then it'll be all right. As long as we remain the, I don't want to say gatekeepers, but if we remain, it's not the gatekeeping, it's just making sure it remains special. You know what I mean? Getting as many people involved in it, so just making sure that the people getting involved in it, I don't know, care about it. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just like making art. I'm just having a fun time making art, and I can't not do the making the art thing. So this is my favorite place to make it. Is this world? It's the one where I'm most comfortable. So I plan to protect it. So are we doing like promotion things
do you
right
wanna
now?
go
Is it my
first? You want me
turn?
to
Should
go?
I do a thing? You go first. I'll go
All right,
next.
so I'm going to flash the intro card again. I know you guys all saw right here. We got pins, hot takes pins designed by Vaperror. What's
We're
up,
not
Christ?
gatekeeping,
Christ
Christ.
is
We're
in the
not
chat,
gatekeeping.
last minute.
No gatekeeping.
Vaperror
I wasn't
designed
trying to
these
say
awesome
that.
pins of that logo.
I didn't mean that.
You don't have to pay
I like
a
that.
red cent for them. All you have to do is message or whisper, which is what messaging is on Twitch, in case you didn't know. And you can have one. I'll send you one. So yeah, Dr. Chris has a few. I have a lot. Please let us know if you want a pin. You can have one. In addition, and Ron's yours is in the mail, so hopefully it gets there. Apparently you have to put extra postage for non-machinable envelopes, so if it gets returned, I'll just pay extra postage. But anyways, get yourself and your loved ones a pin. We got Worldwide Wave. You've talked about that. I am involved in that event. Our own skilled and beautiful Luxury Elite is doing my visuals, and Ron, your inbox is looking a little dusty. You got to check out those visuals, man, because they are sublime.
My inbox is on fire. Fuck you.
That too. So Maki actually has been very, very good about letting me know exactly how you like them, and we got them just how you like them. So cannot wait for you guys to see my collaboration with Luxury Elite. She knocked it out of the park.
I can't wait to see it either. You
Bro.
Two incredibly talented people right there,
yeah.
and I will look at it.
Yeah, that's mostly her, but thank you. The Homesick Fest is the weekend after Worldwide Wave, and Dr. Chris and I are both involved. Both Hot Takes boys are on the Homesick Fest lineup.
Yes. That's true. I'm very excited about
I'm doing
that.
a witch house set. I imagine you're doing a set of
Yeah.
primarily skeleton lipstick material.
Oh no, it's all skeleton lipstick. So it's like a whole thing. Every one of my sets is different. This next
Right.
one's a weird audio-visual experience. It's supposed to be the audio-visual representation of Glows Then Melts album in celebration of
Cool.
it being released.
You gonna release a VHS at some point, bro?
Homesick Fest is Jake
so.
Stevenson's project.
Yeah.
Is that right?
In
It's
celebration
Be Careful,
of the
Ming
vinyl.
Curry, and I think
The vinyl
Space
release
Bandito.
of the vinyl release of Glows the Melts, that the presentation at the Homesick Fest will be a very, very cool little, basically a a visual and audio representation of the album kind of come to life. So you'll see there's a whole
wait.
bunch of crazy surprises and strange twists and turns in the visuals and the story that's being told through it. Picture kind of being trapped on a cable channel that's fucking cursed, and you're kind of scrolling and clicking through the cursed cable channel to see what's on it. And that's
Love
how
it.
these songs get introduced and how you move through stuff. It's really fun. You're gonna have a fun time watching it. So that's what I'm doing for Homesickness Fest. As far as other things that are coming out, I have a song that I collaborated with Ming Curry. He just released that album last week called Holographic.
That's the
He
homie.
released it on cassette tape, VHS, VHS, I believe CD, but also released it, I believe, would be maybe the first Vaporwave album released on Game Boy Advance cartridge. It's a
Yep.
visual album as well, so when you put it in the Game Boy Advance, it plays the music, and then the visuals he created go through it as well. I believe those are all sold out. I don't even think I got a cartridge, but I do have. But you can still stream the album, and I have a song that I did vocals on for him called The Lake House, so I have some vocals on that. In addition, I have a pop culture remix that I just finished, and so I'll send that over to him, so that'll probably get released pretty soon. And then I suppose I'm also going to be on I have a song, a little jazzy synth song I created for the Twin Peaks
Yes.
tribute double cassette on No Problema tapes. So that'll
Look at
be
that
out
owl
soon as
cave
well.
symbol right there.
And then I think the last
Not what
thing,
they
I
seem.
guess, is I'm still waiting to see when I assume that soon the Winter Quilt O Discordia remix album will come out, and I've got a song on that track. I got a track on that album. I believe so. The people being featured on that album once again are doing remixes are myself, Cell Shade, Tokyo Wanderer, Hong Kong Express, Alpha Chrome, Yayo, and who am I missing? Somebody really good too. Oh, Donor Lens. Yeah.
God bless all these champions. What a list
dude.
of incredible names.
So that's going to be a really interesting. So that Winter Quilt remix album. Oh man, the amount of different personalities and sounds on that. I can't even imagine what that album.
So
I know what
good.
mine sounds like. I can't even imagine what all these other crazy artists that he's convinced to do remixes from. Like those are all very different people with very different personalities interpreting a black metal vaporwave artist. Like that's crazy, man. Like it's gonna be a really wacky album. I can't wait to hear it. So yeah, and I've got a bunch of other stuff eventually that'll come out, but like I only like to announce the stuff that's probably most gonna be coming out soonest, right? And of course, my last single, Vapor Never Sleeps, is available on Bandcamp right now. It's a fucking banger and a half. If you haven't heard my song Vapor Never Sleeps yet, get fucking ready, because it will hit you in the chest like a fucking cinder block and keep pounding you with it, because the song is supposed to represent the confusion of clicking through and trying to understand all the information, and you can't keep up with it. You'll fall asleep, but Vapor never does. Art never does. So like the whole thing is like it's a good song. Check it out. It'll be on streaming services in probably like another week or so. And that's it.
Do you do we know who the next guest is yet?
No, we got like a bunch of options. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
right.
Here's the thing:
Give me a
is I
secret.
know we want to get Scott on, and Scott Michael, obviously of Atlantis Records, and I think he's got a lot to talk to us about. And we actually might need to talk about potentially doing an episode next week again, because that might be the day he has off. So normally I
Next
do only
Monday?
like to do every 2 weeks, just because it's very like exhausting for me, at least, to do a lot. I do a lot already. And but I think maybe for Scott we might have to talk about that. Yeah.
Cool, man. Keep me in the loop. Somebody says
We
get
got a lot of
Christ
people
on.
that I want to get on.
Christ
Oh my
can-
God! Well, we totally. I've already talked to Christ about this. Like he
We've got a
knows.
fat
He
list
knows
of people
he's
who
in
are
the
coming
queue,
on. We
and
got
I want to get
fat
John
list,
on.
y'all.
You know, I got a lot I want to talk about with John. I'm a big fan of John. I like him a
Yeah,
lot.
man, I just want to bust his
He
balls
knows,
a little bit.
He knows he's on the. I've already talked to him. He knows he's on the queue. We're just they're just trying to get through some people that have asked us a long time ago. You know,
Yep.
I really absolutely I want to get John on ASAP, and but I don't like to say it. I don't like to ask the people until it's like the week
Right,
before they
right.
go on.
We'll
or the
talk.
2 weeks before they go on, because I don't want to. I don't like to tell people, yeah, let's get you on, and then I can't get them. We can't get them on for like 2 months or whatever.
Right,
But,
right.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Christ is coming on. Everybody's coming on.
Everybody's
eventually.
coming on.
All right.
Everybody
We're
wants to
gonna-
come on.
Everybody's coming on.
Just-
all right.
just do
We're
it every
working on
week.
it.
Just do it every week.
No,
Just do it every
Just let,
You mean I gotta
just
learn
let
new
9 people
OBS
on one
stuff?
episode.
I don't have a sound market like you do. I have to learn all this shit myself.
I've given so much of myself to this whole art world.
Yes, you have, and we don't get paid,
Excuse me.
and we love it, and
don't
we have to keep doing it as the way that it makes us happy, and that's
dude.
what people got to remember, because it's like, yeah, I know you want this shit every week, and it would be cool, but I got other shit going on, man. Got other shit going on. It's gonna have to wait every 2 weeks.
man. It's cool, man. I'm not like a professional Twitch streamer. You know, I don't do this. all the
Me
time.
neither.
I don't have the.
We
the
don't have
capacity
custom
that,
emails
like,
Oh,
yet.
Twitch.
Dude, I can't be like. I don't know how Randy streams all the time. God bless him.
It's crazy.
Can't do
dude.
it, man. It's so hard. Like, all right.
It's-
Okay.
All right, guys,
Anything
thanks for
else?
tuning in to Hot Takes.
Yeah, thank you
Sound
for
Market,
tuning in.
Ronnie Love, thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Chris, have a good night. Chat, have a good night. Thank you so much. And if you want your
Bye,
pin,
chat.
Thanks, chat.
message us, whisper
Thank you
us.
guys for tuning
we'll
in
get you
so
your
much.
free pin. Love you guys.
Yeah,
and
love you guys very much.
Stay tuned
Thank
to find out
everybody
who
for tuning
the
in.
next guest on Hot
Do we have
Takes is
anybody-
gonna be.
Yes. Do we have any play to raid right now
No,
or no?
3D Blast streamed earlier today.
Oh, he's not doing it anymore.
Wait a
All
minute,
right,
guys. Anybody?
Is there anybody to raid? Are you guys doing all that free spraying right now?
I'm pulling up my Twitch right now. I don't
Oh
see
man, I don't know if you guys should
anybody.
freeze frame. Sometimes it takes a minute for us to figure
I know,
out
right?
who to raid.
All
We
right.
can raid Project Villain because they're always doing something no matter
Project
what.
Villain?
Well, I mean, it's not like there's nothing going on in Pacific Plaza. Like, what's his? Doesn't Sleep Pattern sometimes do something, or is he not doing that right now?
What's Project Villain's
Well, Project Villain usually has like somebody. There's always like a bot that is always playing something on there. So totally raid those guys. But if
You
not,
should raid Cryo Chamber. They're a dark ambient.
Cryo Chamber's sick. What's
Dude, raid Cryo Chamber.
what's Cryo Chamber's handle? Is it just Cryo Chamber?
I'm about to find out. I'm glad you like Cryo Chamber. Cryo Chamber and label.
I need to hear more Cryo
Whoa.
Chamber. It's Cryo,
Cryo
Chamber.
Chamber label is their tag.
All right, guys,
And
we're gonna
they're
raid
live
Cryo
right now.
Chamber right now. Good night,
Have fun at
everybody.
Cryo Chamber.
All right,
Listen to
thank you,
Dark
guys.
Ambient.
good night. Thank you guys for
Bye.
tuning
Thank you
in.
for
Really
joining us for Hot
appreciate it
Takes.
very
Great
much.
talking to you,
Love
Isaac
guys.
and Skelly.
Love you
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Chris, Isaac. Mwah, mwah.
All right, Hot Takes
Love you
Vapor
guys, too.
is raiding Cryo Chamber. Yay! And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah.